and gentlemen, let's go. Let's go. We ain't got no time to waste. Let's go. You are now listening to Jason Anderson, and you are in the zone. Hey, 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 let's go. Hey, 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 let's go. Hey, 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 let's go. Hey, hey.
All right, a Thursday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy. We head up until 2 o'clock. The next 4 hours, we've got you. A lot of stuff to get into and talk about today. Packed show. We will hear from the Chiefs coming up at 11:45. Dave Tobe, Steve Spagnuolo, Matt Nagy, Chris Jones at the podium later on today. Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, the KC Laboratory podcast will join us at 11 o'clock. We'll get his thoughts on the Chiefs getting ready for the Raiders this weekend. Rashee Rice is back. Josh Simmons is not back. We'll get his thoughts on everything going on around this Chiefs team. I do want to look back on the offseason for Brett Veach. We were going to do it yesterday. It hit the cutting room floor, as they say. So this would be the sequel. A lot of things we wanted to get into that we had to, chop it down to only a 4-hour movie. And so now we get the sequel here. So we'll talk about that, looking back at the offseason, some of the moves that were made, and I want to compare it to another team in the NFL. There are conspiracy theories running wild everywhere, and it just won't quit. We'll talk a little Bo Prabula with Eli Drinkwitz weighing in on Bo Prabula and this game against Auburn coming up this weekend. The Missouri Tigers, a 1.5 favorite. Chiefs, 11.5 favorites over the Raiders. It has not moved since Tuesday. It opened up at 10, jumped to 12.5. Tuesday morning, it dropped to 11.5, and it's been there the last couple of days. 913-912-4810 is the text line. I'm going to pull it up now. 913-912-4810 text line to join us to be a part of the show. Part of the conversation. You can tweet into the show at J810 Anderson. Sterling, what's your Twitter?
At Homestretch KC.
Okay. Oh, it's not just at Homestretch KC. It's at Homestretch KC.
Yeah, baby.
You got to. Is it like KC and then E?
KC.
KC.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want you to say it any other way, though.
Sterling Holmes was taken. All the ones I wanted were taken. So.
Was Sterling Mahomes taken, though? You could have
know.
grabbed that before she was born.
And then make Patrick pay me.
Dude, that would have been the best thing.
Would have been a smart move.
That's why I pulled up all of the every single website, Sterling Mahomes, Bronze Mahomes, so that if they ever have a website, they got to pay me for it. They can never think of something else.
Yeah, never. It's never possible.
Yes, I copyrighted it actually. So in fact, every time they mention their kids' names, they have to pay me money. It's great. It's like Taco Tuesday with LeBron. Shoot, I owe him $2 by saying that. Darn it.
Is there anything sillier, by the way, just real quick?
No, there isn't.
That him thinking he created Taco Tuesday?
No, it's not.
Of all the silly things that LeBron has said or done,
yes, I
that
agree.
might be the silliest.
Yes.
That might be the most absurd.
Yeah, yes, I agree. It's the difference between me and Jordan fans, is I can admit LeBron's faults.
Yeah.
Jordan's fans are so insecure about his history that they act like he was perfect. But anyway, as we said, the text line, 913-912-4810, and I am waiting for the text to come in that says Kobe's better, because that's just simply what the show has become.
I mean, it's true.
That's fine. Totally fine. I don't care. As I said, I've stopped arguing about it.
On this show, we're talking J.J. Barea.
That's exactly right. Let's talk J.J. Barea. You know what I want to talk about? And this is the thing that I don't understand what goes on in sports commentary. Like, there are two things that I don't think we have enough of, and I don't know why we don't do this, because they're interesting. One.
Nuance.
No, that's dumb. One. Why don't we come up with lists in sports talk and sports shows? We need more. We need to come up with lists. Why haven't I was thinking about this, and I'm like, I'm going to do it different. I'm going to start coming up with lists like every day. And then also, nobody has ever talked about whether LeBron or Jordan is the best. And I think that at least deserves some discussion. Let's actually look into it. Let's find out who's actually better. You know what I mean? Let's do a deep dive on this.
And what are the Cowboys up to?
I do want to know what's the latest with the Cowboys.
There's no shows that ever talk about this.
I mean, what are they going to do? Now, Miles Sanders is on the season-long IR. Do they make a play for a running back? Because they've got Javonte Williams, who's often injured. They've got rookie Jadon Blue, but what do they have after that? Miles Sanders is out for the season. What do they do?
Talking to the Cowboys
CD
nonstop.
Lamb, you won't CD him on the field anytime. And do they sign George Pickens right now to an extension? Because he, last 3 weeks, has been amazing.
What's funny when it comes to the Cowboys is they've are still talked about perpetually on national media.
Right.
And Nebraska football's had more recent success than Cowboys football. Like like Indiana basketball's had more recent success than Cowboys football.
Indiana football is at wait. That is true. So we'll see. Kurt Signetti. Is it Signetti or Rule? Who's going to Penn State? Who's going to be the next Penn State head coach? We are hanging out at Heartland Men's Health in Overland Park location, and fantastic spot if you are a man in your 30s, 40s, 50s, maybe even younger, and you've had some issues with whether it be erectile dysfunction or low T. Heartland Men's Health is here to help. Multiple locations for you. They are located around the Kansas City area, so making it easy for you to get to those different locations. And, guys in their 30s, 40s, 50s, you're losing 2 to 3% of your testosterone every single year. That starts to add up. But it's not just guys in their 30s and 40s and 50s. It could be in your 20s because it could be genetics. It can be stress in your job. It can be your diet. A lot of those things can contribute to your testosterone level and also could contribute to other conditions that may be going on, like ED. If you've got any questions about that, Heartland Men's Health is here to help. We are here at the Overland Park location. Stephen was at the North Kansas City location that they have, the Independence location where we were the last time we were on remote at Heartland Men's Health. 844-447-6600 is where you can call and set up a consultation. And then also heartlandmenshealth.com, you can go and check it out there, and you can take the low T quiz that's there. You can check out all the different things that they have to offer, whether that be weight loss. It could be weight gain if you're looking to add on a few pounds in the gym. They've got that for you. Marucci, he's been hitting the gym hard.
Yeah.
He's all about it, man. He's like, you know what? I feel like I need to get back at it. Sterling doesn't need to hit the gym. He's already in tip-top shape,
Doctor told me I was too healthy.
Too healthy. He went to the doctor last week. It was like, too healthy. You need to actually stop working out because, good God, you're going to live to be 130, and this world doesn't need that.
No, they don't need that. That's just too much.
Not at all.
My motto is live fast and die and leave a sexy body. That's my
motto is live free or die hard.
Okay.
Live free and die hard. Okay. You know what I mean?
Big rowing machine guy, though, by the way. Been hitting the rowing machine hard.
You got to get that back.
Yeah.
My neck.
I've done it like 3 times,
my back.
but
you got to get all that work.
But I've been doing it hard now 3 times. I think that constitutes a positive progression for
Which
me.
is perfect for Sterling because when he goes out and plays basketball with friends, he's typically ending up on his back. So he's just trying to make it more muscular that when he hits the ground,
You think I'm playing defense?
it's soft. That's
now.
a good point. And you're not driving to the hole to get hit. You're
I'm
3-point line to 3-point line. Wing to wing. I play wing to wing. That's it. It's like you're running
NBA range to NBA range. I'm not even going to.
You're running
college.
almost 100 feet every single time down the floor.
That is absurd. What am I running a marathon?
Which is great though, as I just think about this. The big men that makes it tougher for them to run. They've got to run basket to basket. The smaller guys. Just wing to wing. They've got less to run, and they've got more stamina.
I know.
It's ridiculous. They should move the basket to the 3-point line. That's what they should do. They should invert the basket.
Invert. It's like the old field goals or the old goalposts.
It's the goal line. All right, we are hanging out at Heartland Men's Health today in Overland Park. Again, coming up at 11 o'clock, we'll talk with Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. We got the Chiefs today. It'll be Dave Tobe, Steve Spagnuolo, Matt Nagy, Chris Jones at the podium. They're talking about Raider Week coming up on Sunday at noon. We'll talk about what we hear from the press conferences, and then we got Sports or Leisure coming up later on in the show. I do want to start off with a little baseball last night because, we were talking about both teams being up 2-0 that went on the road. They're returning home with 2-0 leads. And last night, one of the things that took place is, I think, a scary proposition for the Mariners. And that is, you were hoping you could get to a 3-0 lead or just a sizable lead before the Blue Jays figured out their offense again, because they can hit their way to a World Series. The Blue Jays can. And we'll see what Max Scherzer does tonight. But if the part about this series was if the Blue Jays bats get going, they are one of the best offenses in the league. And while the Mariners have Cal Raleigh and they got Suarez and Rodriguez and Rosarena, they've got some good offensive players, right? The Blue Jays just up and down the lineup. can mash and can get on base. It's keep the line moving while also offering slug for the Blue Jays, and that's what we saw last night. Now, maybe that is a one-game aberration outburst.
Sure.
And they go back to being the inconsistent offense so far at times in the postseason. But if they get that confidence and that bat starts going the way that it was in the divisional series, then I worry for the Mariners, because you can throw some good pitching out there, but up and down the lineup in postseason play, it is difficult to handle that type of lineup. And we saw it with the Royals here. They didn't offer really the slug, but it was 1 through 9 you had to deal with, because they were great at bats. They were putting the ball in play. They were putting pressure on the defense constantly. And that's what the Blue Jays were doing last night. After falling behind 2-0, they get right back in it and just power their way to a win. So I think tomorrow night is pretty crucial for the Mariners. You know what they say?
Pivotal game 4.
It's huge.
It was a pivotal game 3 last night.
Well, yes, it was so pivotal. But game 4 might be maybe the most pivotal game in the series.
And it wasn't great for the Mariners with George Kirby getting shelled.
Yes.
You didn't like seeing that. Now, you do have Luis Castillo on the mound tonight for the Mariners, and he is an absolute stud. What's funny with the Blue Jays, their starting rotation, like who they had going last night and then today, is Shane Bieber and Max Scherzer. If this was 2018, what a pitching matchup. You're like, oh, my gosh, they have both Max Scherzer and
so
Shane
great,
Bieber, but it's also 2025.
Yeah.
It's like this is what the Rangers tried doing for the longest time, and it didn't work when they tried bringing these veteran, old stud pitchers in, and then they would struggle, and somehow it's working with Toronto. I did not expect Shane Bieber to do that last night.
I didn't either. And look, they took a chance on trading for Shane Bieber. This is exactly what they had in mind, to give them a start like that in a postseason, knowing that when you traded for him, yes, he was still in the minor leagues rehabbing from the Tommy John and getting ready to come back. So you weren't getting the mid-season, getting ready for a postseason run Shane Bieber. You were betting on what he would return to. And you got that last night. And so it was obviously big for the Blue Jays. But tonight, it's going to be a crossover tonight, because at 5 o'clock is Brewers and Dodgers, and then 7:30 is game 4, pivotal game 4 for the Blue Jays and Mariners.
Which, again, I still think the Mariners are in a good spot. Obviously, you're up 2-1.
Yeah.
You have this game at home. You did enough. You were going to have a game where Toronto just mashes. You're hoping it's just one game, maybe 2 games that they do that in. They're probably going to have at least one more game that they do that. But you got to keep the lead. You can't let them win this one and go to 2-2, because then it feels like all the wind has gone out of your sails.
I know it's only game 4, and I know we're joking about it being a pivotal game 4. I feel like this is almost a must-win for the Mariners, and I know that sounds stupid to say because they're up 2-1, but here's why. Max Scherzer's last 2 outings, he's gone 5 innings and given up 11 earned runs.
Yeah.
You've got Luis Castillo on the mound.
Yes.
Against Max Scherzer that hasn't pitched since September 24th. This is a massive advantage for you tonight. It's the last time Luis Castillo is going to pitch in this series. It's tonight. And if you don't get the win, I guess maybe you could.
Maybe game 7.
You can game 7
bit,
on short rest. I guess you could do that. Yeah. I mean, Bumgarner pitched 6 and 7. So, sorry, he who shall not be named pitched game 6 and 7. So, but in this capacity, fully rested, Luis Castillo against a Max Scherzer that I think will have a very short leash, because you do have more off days in the series.
Well,
here.
and it helped that Shane Bieber gave you 6 last night.
Yeah, if Shane Bieber got shelled, and Max Scherzer's going today, obviously I'll be rooting for Max Scherzer on
M-I-Z.
the mound. Z-O, you better believe he's out there on the mound. But this is a huge advantage for the Mariners and Luis Castillo. And if they lose this one, they head back to Toronto with Shane Bieber and Max Scherzer getting the wins for the Blue Jays in Seattle. That's pretty rough.
Again, 7 years ago, that made a lot of sense. In the year of 2025, that does not.
Because here's the setup. You're returning to Seattle with Kirby and Castillo on the mound.
Yeah.
You're returning to Seattle up 2-0 with Kirby and Castillo. And I think you go into that one, if I'm the Mariners or Mariners analyst, I think you go into that one going, win one of these 2. You win one of these 2, obviously you're in great shape. I think you go to the World Series if you can win one of these 2. We didn't win last night.
Yeah.
So tonight is pretty crucial. It's there's so much intrigue for, again, a joke, but it is a huge game for tonight for both these teams, because if the Blue Jays can win, I think the Blue Jays are going to the World Series. If the Mariners win, I think the Mariners are going to the World Series. So it is not a Game 7, but in my personal opinion, in my record book, it feels like a Game 7 tonight. And obviously for the Brewers, it's essentially a must-win because you're down 0-2 and you're in L.A.
And they have an undecided pitcher on the mound for tonight. I wonder how undecided is. Let's see how he pitches against Tyler Glasnow.
TBD is, I mean, he's had great outings before, and he's had some rough outings before. He's had a short leash, and you've also stayed with him to go and just pitch a gem. So you never know what you're going to get out of TBD.
So what's great is
also TBA is pretty good too.
You got past Blake Snell, Yamamoto, and then you get Tyler Glasnow tonight. I mean, the Dodgers pitching staff is finally starting to get healthy. I mean, again, I know the Brewers had a better record. The Dodgers had so many injuries to their pitching staff. They were throwing out Yumi and Dupree out there, and so they needed.
I love that movie.
Yeah, they needed some, but now they're healthy, and once they're getting healthy,
now they're throwing 7 different kinds of smoke.
I do think their bullpen can be got, but if you don't see the bullpen, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Blake Snell went 8. Yamamoto went all 9, and you thought you got him early with a home run to start the game, and you're like, okay, you're back. At least we know we're going to see the bullpen this game. No, you will not. And so against Glasnow, you're going to have to try and get him out early. This Brewers team, they're fun to watch. They do remind me a little bit of the Royals, I think, more than any other team in this the 4 teams left, because
I agree.
There was a little bit of a – well, one, their pitching staff I think is fine, but their bullpen can be really good. Some of their metrics don't make any sense, right? If we're being honest, you look at their lineup, and just when the 14 and 15 Royals were there, you're like, wait, they don't have a – where's Mike Trout? Where's their Bryce Harper? Where's their Shohei? Where's this, that, and the other? And yet they were finding ways to get it done. It almost felt like a little underlying magic, the clubhouse vibes. The Brewers had that all season long en route to 97 wins, but it's starting to feel more and more like that it was a fun story, and the Dodgers go, in this chapter book, the villain wins.
Yeah, the 3-4-5 of Contreras, Yelich, and Vaughn, since they went up, well, I guess really since they were up 2-0 on the Cubs, and then they lost those next 2 games, and then they end up beating the Cubs in Game 5. Since that stretch, the 2-3-4 Contreras, Yelich, and Vaughn have a combined 4 hits, and they're 1-4 in that stretch. You're 1-4, and you're still playing you're 1-4 in your last 5 games in the postseason, and yet here you are still only down 0-2.
Yeah.
Because that one win was a Game 5 after having a 2-0 lead in the divisional series. But those guys, if they continue that, the Brewers have no chance.
And to put it into perspective, their guy hitting 5th in Andrew Vaughn was a cast-off of the White Sox. Now, he was a very highly touted prospect, high draft pick. I still remember one of my favorite things I ever read about him was he might not ever hit 40 home runs, but there's one thing he's going to do, and that's going to have a great hit tool, and he's going to hit around 300.
Yeah.
That has been nothing like Andrew Vaughn since he's got to the majors, but he's been really good in Milwaukee. But, yeah, what it comes down to is you look at these lineups, and they're just vastly different. Jackson Chourio is great. Bryce Terang is a great stolen baseman, great second baseman. Contreras is a good hitting catcher.
Yeah.
Christian Yelich has turned back the clock a little bit, but he is a DH only. Andrew Vaughn again. You can start getting to Andrew Vaughn and Sam Frelick and Durbin, and then Bowers. It's just they don't even have Willie Adames anymore because he's now in San Fran. It's just how they won 97 games is beside me. And then you look over on the Dodgers side and you go Shohei Betts, Freeman, Will Smith, Max Muncy, Teoscar Hernandez, Tommy Edman, Kiki Hernandez, and Pages. It's just
and like I said, I should throw Terang in there too. So if I throw in Terang, Contreras, Yelich, and Vaughn 2, 3, 4, 5 for that, they've got 6 total hits since being up 2-0 on the Cubs. Like honestly, how you won one game is
it's
kind of
Chourio.
surprising.
It's kind of Chourio.
Yeah, he's been good, but they win 3-1. They win that one game in Game 5, because you had a amazing bullpen game, and Mizrahi goes out there, Ashby goes out there, Uribe gets 2 innings there to end it, but you win that game, and that's the only win you've had. But 2, 3, 4, 5, if they continue doing this, the series is going to be over tonight, and it would be just a matter of, do the Dodgers win 1 game over the next 4, or the next 3, I should say. It'd be the next 4 because today's game 3 and the American League is game 4. So there you go. That's the setup for that. We've got Steelers Bengals right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, the Icy Hot Bowl that Cam Hayward so eloquently called it.
I love the third oldest guy called it that, making fun of the 2 oldest guys.
Awesome. Like I hope he included himself, right? It's an appropriate name. It's a great name, the Icy Hot Bowl tonight. And we'll see what happens. It's game number 2 for Joe Flacco against one of the best pass rushing teams out there. So we'll see what happens with that tonight. I want to take a timeout. We'll come back. I do want to address a couple of the conspiracy theories that are going out there. And we will also get into Brett Veach. And I want to look back at this offseason, what we thought at the time, and what we're seeing now compared to another team's offseason that you feel like is in a much worse spot than the Chiefs right now, in, let's just say, the Eagles, in a much worse spot than the Chiefs are right now, except for the fact that they have a better record and they beat the Chiefs. Isn't that odd?
It is a very odd conundrum.
They're leading their division. They're 4-2. The Chiefs are 3-3, third in their division. They lost to that team, yet it feels like they're in different spots, and we'll talk about what that means and the conversation around those 2 GMs. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Hanging out at Heartland Men's Health in Overland Park. More Zone coming up next. Hey, folks, Jason Anderson here. Said we're at the Overland Park location for Heartland Men's Health, and it's the location that I go to. A couple of years ago, looking into testosterone therapy, and because I didn't know what my testosterone level was. I had wondered for like a decade, what is my testosterone level? Procrastinating. I'm like, you know what? Let me check it out when I'm like 43 years old. I'll go see what it is. And so finally, getting around to it, coming to Heartland Men's Health to check out the testosterone level. 30 minutes later, had the results. We played a little game of guess your testosterone level, and I guessed much higher than what my testosterone level was. So it was quite the surprise, but it also made sense with some of the symptoms that I had. The energy wasn't there. I talked about it before that, Little Man and Little Princess were playing more and more after school, like outdoor activities, and it's like I'd get home from the show and I'm like exhausted, done. I've expended all my energy, and that's not the case anymore with testosterone replacement therapy with Heartland Men's Health. They have been great to work with, awesome people, and one of the reasons why I chose Heartland Men's Health is because while they did the lab work, it still took a little bit for them to make sure I was a candidate for testosterone replacement. It's not just, oh, your testosterone's low. You know what, let's just give you some testosterone here. No, I mean, that could have adverse effects on you, so you have to be a candidate for that. They're going to make sure that is the case, and that's why there is that consultation with their licensed medical provider, and you go through that with them. The cost of the appointment is $99, and if you sign up for testosterone treatment the day of your appointment, they waive that fee, and it is free. And it's Heartland Men's Health, 3 locations, conveniently located, Overland Park, Independence, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. Go to heartlandmenshealth.com if you want to check that out. You can take the low T quiz there if you want to. Also, if you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, it's something that you can look into as well with Heartland Men's Health. Call them today, 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com. show. Yeah. All right, we continue hanging out here at Heartland Men's Health Overland Park location. HeartlandMen'sHealth.com. You can go to and check out all of the stuff that they offer. 844-447-6600. We've talked about the ED treatments, the testosterone replacement therapy, and, just talking with some of the folks here telling me today about some of the exciting new peptides that they offer. So go and check that out as well. So always innovating and looking for more and better ways to help men be healthier. And it's been 2 years since I've been on testosterone replacement therapy, and it's been awesome. It's been a game changer for me, certainly. I didn't know what brain fog was, and I know what it is now. And it's no longer existing in my life. And it was mainly right around 2:45 until, 8 o'clock the next morning is what it felt like at times. And I had been curious since Sterling, how old are you?
31.
I had been curious since I was about 31 years old I just want to know just in general, like I'm 30 years old. They say guys in their 30s start losing that testosterone. So, I was curious, and then it only took 13 years later for me to actually get checked.
So guess what I'm doing?
I want to know what you're doing.
I am going to see what I'm at. Since we are here, you're talking with Kent Swanson at 11.
I
so
am.
While you're talking Chiefs,
okay.
I will be talking
testosterone.
I'm going to get my blood drawn. I will probably pass out.
I was going to say, are you good with getting your blood drawn?
No, like full transparency. You have to do this twice a year. Cholesterol reasons, of course.
Right.
And I'm just horrible with it. It's not even like the needles. It's like I have this disease. There are dozens of us. Where like it's called like a vasovascular reaction.
Okay.
I can't help it.
So do you have to be blindfolded and stuff?
No, it doesn't matter. But it's like my body I will almost always pass out.
Do they give you like ginger ale to drink while
apple
you're?
Juice is great.
Apple
juice is the key.
So, my go-to is always ginger ale.
So like like if you have kids maybe and like your 6-year-old is like they need apple juice. That's me. Like I
have apple juice almost every night.
I'm going into like a quick trip before I get blood drawn typically and getting my apple juice. Like is that for your child? No, that's for me because I am a child. So I will be doing that at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
I will hopefully bounce back at some point. We're going to have a fun game.
Yeah. Your level is going to be higher than mine because I
doubt it. Who knows?
I was 12 years older than you.
But who knows?
And you're Sterling. I think your level is going to be too high.
It might
I
be
think
too
they're going to
high.
actually have to take testosterone out of you.
Sir, this is – no, who knows?
Sir, can we put some estrogen in here? I think we need to calm your levels down, okay? We've heard you on the air, and we feel like maybe just a little bit here that we need to adjust.
I have no idea. What it could be low. I don't know. I don't think so, but it'll be fun to know. Just, again, this is for if you're younger, I'm 31. I'm going to try this out and see what happens, and it's going to be fun once it's done.
And once you're done with the lab, 15 minutes, we'll know what the results are.
15 minutes.
We'll
in
know
between
exactly
Andy and – not Andy today. It's Tobe and maybe Spags.
Tobe, Spags, and Nags. Tobe, Spags, Nags, and Chris Jones at the podium today. So we will hear from those guys coming up later on in the show. I don't know if you're willing to get the results live on the air or not. That's up to you, or you want to get them off the air and then
if it's really high, I will give them on the air. Yeah. Well, let's say, sir.
But you got to guess, though. You do have to guess before.
I have to guess.
I like that's not right now. Because you got to talk to them about what the range you should be in. So they'll tell you,
have no idea.
Hey, this is typical for a 25-year-old. This is typical for someone that's 31. This is where you should be. This is where it's a little too low. This is where you may be a candidate for TRT. This is where these other things.
Quite frankly, if I get put on TRT, I'm not upset by it.
I can't imagine.
This show would be
I can't imagine. No, I mean I don't know, dude. I don't know. Credit to you for admitting that you needed it.
Hey, I'll rock it, baby.
Dude, it's been a game changer for me, man. I'm telling you, it's been awesome.
So get ready to watch Sterling pass out on radio.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
It's been so great that there's so much room for activities around the house, but so many different things that I'm doing around the house, outside the house, working, putting more projects that, in fact, I did hurt my back the other day. So while it gives you more testosterone, it doesn't just automatically increase your muscle mass because I don't work out. Other than the work that I do around the house or outside or, building stuff because, I'm a man. I like to do those things. Pretty handy, as they say. And actually I hurt my back. But I hurt my back playing basketball with my son. That's how I hurt my back. Oh.
Speaking of working out, I think some of the offseason moves for KC is working out better than the offseason moves or working out for the Eagles.
Well, let me talk about this first because it hasn't worked out for the Lions in the game. I just want to get this out of the way, okay? I do want to talk about this, and I want to get it out of the way, Sterling. I just want to put it to bed. So I sent out a few earlier today just countering the conspiracy theory that's going on in Detroit because yesterday was full of them. They had Dan Campbell on the show. One of their other hosts lost his mind and said that Patrick Mahomes had 4 taunting penalties on the touchdown. It should have been 60 yards worth of taunting.
That might be, by the way, the softest thing I've ever heard. He taunted 60 yards.
4 different taunting penalties.
60. Same play, by the way.
He
threw it 60 yards.
He threw the ball at Brian Branch. He spun it. The ball went away from Brian Branch. Then he pointed at him. Well, Brian Branch pointed at the flag to say that there was a flag on the play, and Mahomes pointed at him and said, "That's on you," which it was because Mahomes knew it was offsides. Brian Branch didn't know that. And then he made another gesture, which he wipes his jersey, and didn't wipe his jersey at Brian Branch. And then he flexed, in which he flexed while turning away to run off the field, flexing, which he does after every touchdown run. Like, it's so soft, but it's all.
They play the Buccaneers this week. You're complaining. I mean, I know you're not actually playing the game when you're in the media or you're a fan. I get that. Dog, it's Wednesday. And you're complaining about 60 yards that you wanted in taunting penalties?
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. That might be the softest thing I have ever heard. That is Charmin Ultra Soft. I think their slogan is like softness you can see.
Yeah.
That's the Detroit Lions fans.
Well, it feels
softness you can see.
It feels like the last couple of days has been Detroit crying fans. I mean, not Lion fans.
Okay,
Let's hear. You like that one, don't you?
I do like that one.
I don't know if I liked it or not. Let's hear from Dan Campbell. This is yesterday on 97.1 in Detroit. I want to play this because I do think there is something here. Because that illegal motion, which was the entire difference in the game, I mean, the only play that mattered in the game was the illegal motion by Jared Goff. The touchdown or not on the first drive would have decided the entire game. We know that.
You know what? Just give them 4 points, and they can just shut up. Give them 4 points.
100%.
Just give them the 4 points and say, all right, you happy now?
Yeah.
Now
right.
you lost by 9.
Yeah, that's true.
Nice.
But it's the difference in the entire game. And what we've learned about the conspiracy theorists over the years, the last couple of years, is that what happens in the first and second quarter doesn't matter. Because when you point out penalties and touchdowns taken off the board for the Chiefs in the first half, we're told that doesn't matter. It's only the fourth quarter. Yet apparently the first drive of the game now is the most important thing. It's funny how the goalposts tend to move like that. But here is Dan Campbell. This is clip number 1. This is from 97.1 yesterday. This is him talking about whether or not the officials got told or alerted from New York that it was an illegal motion in a play that cannot be assisted from New York because it's a penalty after the fact. But here's Dan Campbell on that sequence.
I know you said it's a sore subject and you take responsibility for that play not being a legal play, so I don't really want to ask you it again. But I did want to know, after the game, you said it came from New York. Were you told that came down from New York?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to go back to it. I don't want to harp on, just like we had talked about earlier, but when we asked you, did that call come from New York about overturning the Goff touchdown? Are you guys inquiring as to why you were told that, or inquiring as to what happened in that situation, why they went back a minute and a half later and threw the flag?
Yeah, we asked on all of that. We asked on all of it, and I can't tell you any of that.
But it was an official that told you it came from New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is Dan Campbell yesterday, and I appreciate the host there did a great job going back and saying, I just want to clarify, when you said you were told by somebody that it was an official you were told, not just some random dude that was like, hey, man, that came from New York. Oh, really? Okay, we were told by that. Well, it was the ball boy. No, was it an official that did that? Yes. It wasn't a very convincing yes, but regardless, I like Dan.
The very end was,
Yeah. I like Dan Campbell a lot, by the way. I really, really enjoy watching his press conferences. They're so good, man. And he seems like he would be a joy to cover. Like, honestly, he seems like he would be a real fun coach to cover. But what makes this interesting and becoming a national story is that Matt Derrick, the poll reporter, after the game is over, asking Craig Rolstadt, the head official, what kind of help or assistance, if any, did you have from the replay assistant in Kansas City or from New York? Rolstadt, we did not have any assistance from Kansas City or New York. Matt Derrick, so that was just a discussion amongst the crew itself. Rolstadt, that's right. So a couple things here. Good on Matt Derrick for clarifying.
Correct. By
the way, he could have just said, "Did you guys? How'd you come up with that?" Oh, we talked amongst ourselves. All right, thanks, great. No, he got clarification. It did not come from Kansas City or New York. It was only a discussion within the officials. And Rolstadt said, yes, only the officials here did not come from New York. It did not come from the Kansas City replay assistant from the booth. So there's the booth and then there's New York. Dan Campbell is saying that he was told by an official that the replay assist or New York is the one that called down to the official to have them then discuss whether that was illegal motion or not. Somebody's lying.
Yeah.
Like somebody is lying here.
Well,
unless the official just made some bleep up and didn't want to have to face Dan Campbell and say, yeah, we actually got together and it was illegal. Well, no, we were told to do that, Dan. It's out of my hands, brother. We were told to do that. So maybe that official was, I don't know, but something here is off.
And I do get Lions fans how you would be a little upset if you're like, this is an unreviewable play and it feels like they went to New York and reviewed it. But I guess part of me is also, and again, I would have to understand if this was from against the Chiefs. Part of me would just say they got the call right. Again, we're not talking about getting a call wrong.
Yeah.
And they made a call that would have been a touchdown, but you're like, oh no, they actually messed up on the field, and then they overturned it, and now it's no longer a touchdown. But the play was legal.
Yeah.
No, we all agree. We've all come to the conclusion that the play is an illegal play. That was not legal because of how he did not get set. So we've all come that it is illegal. All Lions fans and, quite frankly, 31 other fan bases are saying is,
and national analysts,
we know it's illegal.
Yeah.
But, you know,
why did it take so long?
It's unfair.
Yeah.
But, like, you've admitted it's an illegal play. Don't you want to get it right? Like, isn't that kind of the moral of the story is, don't you want to get it right?
So I think there are two things here, and I think it goes back to even Kadarius Toney and the Buffalo Bills. When he was offsides, the call was made. The call was correct. It was called immediately, so it wasn't this conspiracy. It wasn't this issue that comes up with how long it took the officials to make the call. The conversation we had at the time, and I want to compare this to what's going on in Detroit because I do have some understanding of where they're coming from. So we talked about it at the time, and the first thing we said was Kadarius Toney has to line up onside. Like, you can't do that. I don't care how close it was, how far. You cannot line up offsides like that. While that is the case, Patrick Mahomes' frustration boiled over because it is not a call that is typically made. And, in fact, quickly Chiefs fans and analysts found about 10 other plays that year where wide receivers were lined up over with their foot past the line of scrimmage that was not called. In fact, it was the only one that was called on a wide receiver all year was on Kadarius to that point. I don't know if they called more, but to that point.
I thought they called him like next week.
Yeah, so to that point, it was the only one that was called. So understandably, like, why was that pointed out in that time? Why was that called in that time? Feels like you're kind of being picked on. That's what the Chiefs felt like at that time. Interesting, nobody said that they were getting all the calls at that point. They just said, stop crying because a call went against you. And again, as I've said, I don't think Mahomes was crying because the call went against him. I think that was a tipping point of the previous 4 weeks of dropped passes and the offense and the losses and the non-call in Green Bay with the pass interference that would not have won them the game. It would have given them an opportunity with first and goal to score a touchdown and still need a 2-point conversion to tie in Green Bay, and still need to then go to overtime if you win or lose. So that was not a win or lose play. And that was in the fourth quarter. That was the final drive, by the way. This is the first drive of the game. So I understand where Lions fans could come from when they say it was the correct call. But why did it take that long, and did it come from New York? Because if it came from New York, that's wrong. It can't come from New York, and that's an issue, and that is something the league has to address. But if it didn't, then there needs to be clarification as to why Dan Campbell is saying he was told by a ref. Is he flat out lying? I can't imagine that would be the case.
Yeah, he wouldn't. I don't.
Was a ref mistaken? another ref that wasn't involved in that mistaken? Because here's the thing. While the flag took 1 minute 20 seconds for them to throw the flag, I posted this on Twitter earlier today. If you watch the play live in real time, from the second he scores to then Chris Collinsworth, the replay, they're in the middle of the replay. Chris Collinsworth says they're now coming together to see if this counts. 30 seconds. Now, do you think they came together 30 seconds later? Or or they were already together talking when Chris Collinsworth acknowledges that they're meeting to see if this counts? If they're walking to talk 30 seconds later, he's not going to say they're meeting to see if this counts. That means they were together talking for a little bit. And if you watch the replay, the side judge, after the touchdown call, starts walking towards the referee.
By the way,
so 30 seconds. It took 1 minute 20 because, as Craig Rolstadt said, this is the pool reporter, how it works. He said, it's my job to see if the quarterback stopped initially. The down judge watches the player in motion, and we had to communicate between him, my umpire, and my line judge whether or not he initially stopped at the quarterback position and then whether he stopped after he went in motion out of my view toward the left-hand side of the field. There was a little bit of confusion in our discussion whether he had initially or whether he had stopped at the end and what we were talking about. That's why the flag came in so late. Let me tell you this. If it was the Lions, or if I'm the Lions, and they came to the conclusion and said, you know what, he never was in the T formation at the quarterback, I'd want them to take the time. Because if he was never in that formation and they came together and they said, there is no flag for illegal motion, the quarterback never established himself as the T position for the quarterback position, but it took him that long to decide, everybody moves on. It took him that long to decide the correct interpretation of the rule, but it took him that long to decide to throw the flag. Intentional grounding is always a conference and happens after the play. The referee runs in, or the side judge runs in, right? They talk to the official. They're having a conference now. They're talking about it. Oh, there's the flag. We say that all the time in intentional grounding. When the people meet to figure it out, here's your perspective, here's my perspective. Let's put it together in real time. Because here's the thing. They got to get that right because it's a fourth down touchdown, and you can't review that.
yeah.
That isn't a who recovered the fumble. Was it a forward pass or was it a fumble? Was it an empty hand? Was his arm moving forward? That can be reviewed. This can't.
I think it's so silly that it can't be reviewed, by the way. I think that is another issue of just – because this is not necessarily a – I get why you don't have pass interference.
Yeah.
I get why
That
you
was
don't
dumb when
have
they had
holding. I get why you don't have certain gray area calls.
Yeah.
This is not a gray area call.
It's black or white.
This is black and white. When it's a call like this, and I would wonder if it's against the Chiefs too, by the way. This is not me trying to just –
I'd be annoyed if I thought that it came – if Andy Reid said I was told that it came from New York.
Sure.
And the head official said it did not come from New York.
Someone's lying.
Yeah, I would not be like, well, Andy Reid's lying. Well, what's the motivation for Andy Reid to simply lie?
There is none.
Dan Campbell already came out and said, I take full responsibility. That's my fault.
Yeah.
It's my fault. I told Jared Goff to line up like that. We told David Montgomery, Jared Goff, everybody did exactly the way we coached it. That is my fault. I take full responsibility. Then why would he then come out and lie and go, well, they said it was from New York.
Yeah.
They said it came from New York. He already came out and said, it's my fault. Why would he then make something up and say I was told that it came from New York as to why it was so late?
Point remains, though.
Those things are conflicting. It doesn't make sense.
Call was right. We'll give
Yeah.
Detroit the 4 points, though, anyways, because they want to have an illegal touchdown. Give them the 4 points.
30 to
final
21
score,
final?
30-21.
Okay.
Lock it.
Okay. Chiefs cover as well in that one. So there you go. And the other conspiracy of the Chiefs didn't get penalized in the game, and I talked about this yesterday, and we'll break. But after that sequence of delay, also real quick, Dan Campbell also said the delay game happened because the play clock didn't get reset, didn't get pumped. Go check my Twitter.
It did.
There is video of Jared Goff running out there and looking at the official and doing the raise the roof to pump, and the official Craig Rolstadt repumps the play clock. It resets to 25, and it doesn't start for another 3 or 4 seconds. But Dan Campbell said, well, the play clock never got pumped, and there was a communication issue, and not sure what happened with that. It did, okay?
Yeah.
And the 4 penalties to 0, after the illegal formation delay a game, it was 2-0. It was 2 penalties to 0. And with this whole conspiracy theory about the refs and the Chiefs, the last time there was a team that had 0 penalties in a game was in 2023. and it was a Chiefs game, except it was the Raiders that were not penalized in that game. And you know what the final count of penalties in that game was? Shockingly 4-0. Where were the conspiracy theorists then about the Raiders getting help from the refs? They didn't care. The Chiefs won. They took care of business. They overcame it. It was a clean game. They won by 14. They didn't bitch and moan and cry after it was over and slap somebody like a punk move and then immediately run away. Maybe the biggest punk move from Brian Branch was the fact that he swung and then immediately backed up and went away. We go away. We take a break. We come back. More Zone next. Hi, wrapping up this hour, we're hanging out at Heartland Men's Health Overland Park location today, where we are at. Sports or Leisure comes up in the 1 o'clock hour. We will hear from the Kansas City Chiefs coming up at 11:45. Kent Swanson will join us at 11 o'clock, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory podcast. You can check out heartlandmenshealth.com to see all of the great things that they do. 844-447-6600, whether it's ED or testosterone. They've got these exciting new peptides that you can ask them about, that I've been talking with them about in the break, just learning about what's going on and the innovations and the things they are trying to look for cutting-edge solutions to optimizing men's health. It's here at Heartland Men's Health. We will take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll talk with Kent Swanson, get his thoughts on what he makes of Josh Simmons not being there, Jalen Moore being there, other things going on with this Chiefs team. That comes up next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sterling is about to get his blood drawn, so not on the air, because he's going to pass out if he gets his blood. Well, he's going to pass out regardless.
I'm extremely antsy. Overton is over here, and he's like, dude, I can tell you're antsy. I'm like, yeah. So it's mental. It's a mental game. I'm mentally weak. I mean, if you see me play golf, you'll know I'm mentally weak. I'll hit a bad shot, and it's going to carry over for 3 holes.
Yeah.
It's how I work, okay?
Yep,
I'm a mentally weak man, but we're going to have fun.
We know that.
And I want to know the results, and it takes 15 minutes from when I get my blood drawn to know the results.
Yep.
And I think the act of knowing is so much more enjoyable than the fact that I might have to pass out and lay down for a while.
It's all good, man.
So while you talk to Kent,
I'm going to talk to Kent.
I hopefully will be back for the next segment.
I'm going to talk to the least mentally weak person that we know, and that is Kent Swanson. You don't play quarterback in college and be mentally weak like Sterling. You don't play quarterback in college and pass out when your blood is drawn. Is that right, Kent?
Actually, you're right. No, I used to do like the plasma donation thing in college to get a little extra cash.
Me too, dude.
So I wasn't ever afraid of that.
100%,
but I will
man.
say, Sterling might be mentally weak with the golf game, but he's still probably beating me out on the course, and that's what's disappointing.
Yeah,
for me
sure.
Is maybe I have a little bit of mental toughness, but it doesn't do me any service on the golf course, and Sterling's probably still going to beat me by 10 strokes.
Yeah, no, he's going to win on the golf course. But what the difference is, because I play the game not as seriously, I'm going to probably have a more enjoyable time playing golf because every bad shot he hits, he's going to be annoyed by it. And every bad shot I hit is like, oh well, I found my ball. Congratulations. Good. It's a good hole. Kent, I started the hole with the ball. I finished the hole with the ball. That's a good hole.
Lies. All I do, I don't get mad. I'm just like disappointed in myself,
Yeah.
and then I crack open a beer. So trust me, I'm going to have a great time. Overton knows we played before. I'm going to have a great time.
Okay. All right. Well, I am too. I'm not going to play well, but I'm going to have fun doing it. I don't understand, Kent, and I'm not saying that Sterling is this because Sterling just said he's not. I never understood the let's go play golf and have a good day out with the boys, and then you're annoyed the whole time you're playing because you're not playing well. I don't understand that. Like, I don't get out of the house. I got kids, Kent. We got kids. We're not Sterling. We don't get just to leave whenever we want willy-nilly because we have no responsibilities whatsoever in life. We got stuff to do, Kent. We got to go to Costco at times. They're at the golf course. We're at Costco.
I wish
enjoy it.
I could say that there hasn't been moments where I've been disappointed in my golf game because, like, I've tried, guys. I've tried to get a little bit better this summer. Can't say it's helped. I actually think it's hurt. I think I've gotten worse. So I wish I could say I've been chill. I wish I could say I've been chill about it. But I've gotten upset on the course a little bit too. And I'm ashamed.
You know what?
A bad day in a golf course is still a fantastic day, and I should be treating it as such.
That's a good point. You know what? That's a good point. I will say, if you're going to put in all that work, I do understand why you would be frustrated in doing that. When I miss a free throw, it really bugs me. And it's like, why aren't you having fun playing basketball? Well, because, if I'm not 90% or better, then what's the point? And I'm going to be bad at myself because I've shot probably 1 million of those, and I should be able to make one no matter what. Even if it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals, I should make that. So it's totally the same as being on a golf course. Ken Swanson is our guest. KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Let's get into it, man. Josh Simmons. We still don't know what's going on with Josh Simmons. Patrick Mahomes said he's praying for him. It's a personal matter. I'm not asking for people to pry. I do think it's odd that there is no reporting at this point, so they're keeping it very close to the vest. But what I think has been a discussion point, Kent, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it, is hearing Andy Reid say Veach is handling that. Now, there have been 2 schools of thought on this and hearing Andy Reid say that. One is the reaction I had, which was, oh, interesting. Why would Veach need to handle something if it's just a guy dealing with a personal matter at back home? And so that sort of raised my antenna a little bit. And I'm like, okay, now I'm a little more concerned. The other side of that is, well, that's Andy Reid saying, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Don't ask me any more questions. I just told you Veach is handling that. I'm handling who is there. That's the parentheses inferred what Andy Reid is saying. How did you receive and how do you read Andy Reid saying Veach is handling that when it comes to Josh Simmons?
Yeah, I felt like it was more the latter, where it's just like that's what we normally hear out of Andy Reid when he tries to evade questions, right? So when there are some medical questions, there's you're gonna have to talk to Rick about that. That's a Rick's handling all that. When it's a personnel type issue, it's V channels, all those things, and it just gives him an easy out to try to not have to delve too much into it. Now, I understand why people would be looking harder into it because of how vague the information and how uncommon this scenario and this situation has been relative to how the team has handled some things in the past. I don't think that, I'm not here to say Josh Simmons and his situation. I don't think he owes us anything, and I'm not trying to, demand answers. It does feel different with how this whole situation has been handled by all parties, including the team, and the vagueness, the lack of communication about really anything when it comes to it has left a lot up for interpretation, a lot up for debate. And I don't think that's been particularly good for the situation, but here we are, and that's how this, that's how it's been handled. And I think they're probably, I hope there's nothing so, I don't want anyone to be dealing with whatever is going on here with Josh Simmons, but I think, at some point we'll get answers on all this, and I think there will be more. I think things will make a little bit more sense when we get to that point.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens. And I'm with you. Like, hopefully everything is good with him. It'll be reported on at some point. We'll find out what's going on. But it is sort of an odd situation. I do find it concerning. And I find it concerning from this point, Kent, is that your starting left tackle isn't there. Let's talk about the football side of this with an unknown of what's going on behind the scenes, which does lead to speculation and people, drawing their own conclusions to a degree. But we're not doing that here. But on the field, we saw Jalen Moore in a game of what I would guess, Kent, the Chiefs envisioned Jalen Moore can do for them before they knew they were going to be drafting Josh Simmons when they get late in the first round, and they're like, all right, he's going to be there, and at 31, and they can trade back, and he's still going to be there. This is what they had envisioned, Jalen Moore going from a backup swing tackle in San Francisco, backing up one of the best, to then sliding into a starting role. What did you see from Jalen Moore, and how much confidence do you have in him manning that left side until whatever's going on with Josh Simmons gets figured out?
Yeah, the Chiefs did such a tremendous job adding Jalen Moore because he added a stable floor to what this offensive line can do over there on the left side. And, I think the Chiefs' game plan, whether it was going to be Josh Simmons or Jalen Moore, just watching the play calling, I do think that there was some protection for whoever was playing left tackle, with the consideration that you could see a lot of Aiden Hutchinson over there. And I think the Chiefs did a really good job of trying to limit the impact that Aiden Hutchinson could have on the game with the play calling. So what was asked of Jalen Moore, I think Jalen did a very good job. You should be satisfied and pleased with what he did in that game. Not always pretty, but always competitive. That's probably the easiest thing I can say with Jalen Moore is it's not always going to look. It's not always going to look, aesthetically pleasing. He's not going to have the foot quickness of a Josh Simmons, but he's going to fight. He's going to compete every down. He's going to do everything to slow down the march to the quarterback as best as he can. He had to box out a couple guys, like a basketball game at times, right? Just to try to, just keep things, as restricted as he possibly could. So I think that floor, that baseline that you have there, I think you've got to be quite pleased with what you saw out of him. And you know what? I think if the Chiefs had to play him for the entirety of the season, if they weren't able to draft Josh Simmons, I think they would have been just fine. And I think even as the sample size grows, I think you're going to be pleased with what you get out of Jalen Moore, even though, sure, there's probably a higher ceiling on the roster with Josh Simmons. You got to be satisfied with what you got out of him, and I think what he can provide for you moving forward.
Yeah, visiting with Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. I wanted to get your thoughts on the other man on the left side because we talked about what we've seen from Josh Simmons and how, great immediately he's looked out there, and Jalen Moore filling in. But a guy that we had a lot of discussion about okay, in the off season and during training camp, and especially after the preseason games. It was much debated and talked about. We had a conversation. I talked about it multiple times about Kingsley and whether or not they should try Caliendo, Jalen Moore. Should he be playing left guard? What's going on with that? And I think because I talked about it, weekly with Kingsley, that I don't want it to go unnoticed because we're talking Josh Simmons and Jalen Moore. That it's 3 weeks now for Kingsley, and he's given up one pressure that's there. I mean, that's not just good. That's fantastic. That is somebody that if you're trading Joe Thuney, I think I don't think anybody, whether it's in the building, Kent, or around town, would have thought that he would have a pass blocking performance over a multi-week stretch that is Joe Thuney-like. Or maybe Joe Thuney light, but Joe Thuney like, where you're just not having pressures, you're not getting beat quickly, and it's a far cry from what we were talking about in those preseason games.
Yeah, just think about how much column space, how much airtime we've all spent talking about the transition of Kingsley Suamataia to the left guard spot, and how little of a factor Kingsley Suamataia has been in a negative way towards this roster. There's not been one time this season where we've all gone, man, Kingsley. There really hasn't been one of those just big, glaring, iconic moments of the season that you just look and go, man, he ruined that drive. He ruined that game. And I think there was concern that they were going to be
game or drive. The only one I can think of real quick, sorry to interrupt, I know there's a little bit of a delay, so that's my fault, bad hosting, was the crazy throw in week 1 from Holmes to Hollywood that, he had to run right because of Kingsley. But again, we're talking about week 1 preseason to now, and it's like, night and day. That's the only one, just for full, sort of context with that. And I think even that play highlights what's happened since then.
Absolutely. He's been doing a great job. I mean, I think you've got to be really satisfied with where you're at with him. I think he is absolutely living up to the draft status that he had, even though it was a rough first season. If you are able to get 3 years of guard play out of Kingsley as a late second-round pick to the level, or even in making strides and improvements, which he seems to be doing, you've got to be absolutely thrilled with what you're getting out of him. I will say this. Mm-hmm. Even the Jalen Moore Kingsley, and I know it's early with the Jalen Moore version, but I would take the Jalen Moore Kingsley pairing over what the Chiefs had last season. I think what the
100%.
Chiefs did, Joe Thuney is awesome, but being able to stabilize the tackle position while still getting very good guard play out of Kingsley Suamataia is such a massive win for this front office. It's a massive win for this football team as they continue to try to stay competitive and continue to be one of the premier teams in the National Football League. Moments, opportunities like this for a Kingsley Suamataia to go out and play the guard position the way that he has, and getting better at the left tackle position, it has put them in a great spot. This is a fantastic offensive line. I think it is one of the best offensive lines in football, and you have to be extremely pleased with where they're at right now, especially from the pass blocking perspective. This is the part of the reason that we are seeing this version of Patrick Mahomes this season is because of the trust and confidence he has with the offensive line, and that includes Jalen Moore being in there.
Yeah, the PFF has him as the 3rd best offensive line in football. They are going up against the 29th best offensive line in football against the Raiders, which we'll talk about here in just a second. But, this version, and I'm with you, the Jalen Moore and Kingsley Suamataia, I would take them over what they had in the Super Bowl, even with Joe Thuney out there, because it was Joe Thuney left tackle, Caliendo left guard. And essentially we're watching plan B for the Chiefs at left tackle be better than plan A, B, C, and D last year. Because plan A was Kingsley, plan B, Wanya, plan C, DJ Humphries, plan D was Joe Thuney. And plan B with Jalen Moore and Kingsley is better than A, B, C, and D that we saw last year. And I want to transition that into Brett Veach and what he did in the offseason and him signing Jalen Moore and then drafting Josh Simmons. Because there was criticism about wasting money on a swing tackle like Jalen Moore. You could have spent that money somewhere else on a different player. Instead, Brett Veach now is paying money for a guy that may not even play, and which was an odd opinion coming off the season last year when, again, they went down to option D and it still got them smoked in the Super Bowl. I think we're seeing credit or we should be seeing credit where credit is due in saying, if you're Brett Veach, no, option 1 and 2 are going to be better than anything we had last year.
I said it when it happened and as it was happening. I think it was tremendous process by the Chiefs to do what they did. I will defend it, and I think you're seeing the rewards of that. Unfortunately, with the Josh Simmons situation, you are still seeing some rewards, or you're seeing the rewards of the decision-making process. But I mean, I think there's two pieces of this. One is it is really hard to find a left tackle in the NFL, and part of the reason that the Chiefs have been in this situation that they've been over the last couple of years is because of how challenging it is to find an available left tackle that can play at a quality capable level. They don't hit free agency very often.
Mm-hmm.
They don't become available in trades. Very rare are you seeing teams move on from capable, competent left tackle play. And so if you are sitting there at the end of the first round, it is a big challenge to try to find someone that can step in and play to the level, for instance, of a Josh Simmons. That does not happen very often. And candidly, Josh Simmons in most situations isn't even sniffing pick 32, which is why it was such a smart move by the Chiefs to make the decision that they did. The Chiefs have navigated as best as they can with the left tackle spot over the last few years, and it's been a mess, right? I mean, it's been a challenge. It's not been good enough, and it's always been a concern. So finding a mid-level, higher floor than what you have, Jalen Moore, and just at least making sure you have something was fantastic process. And then understanding with the Josh Simmons situation, taking a risk, especially knowing that you have the floor of a Jalen Moore, taking that risk with a left tackle that has the ability to be a top 15 player in the league, or in the top 15 player in the draft. And we'll say a top 15 tackle in the league. I think he already is a top 15 left tackle in the NFL.
He's playing like that.
Pairing those two things together was always a smart move. And I think getting Jalen Moore on a 2-year deal, by the way, I think you have your right tackle for 2026. So going out and spending capital and spending, financial assets to make sure that you are securing the tackle position was a very smart move by this team, insulating yourself for the disasters that have ailed. I mean, the only time that the Chiefs haven't won Super Bowls that they've walked into are when they haven't had stability on the offensive line. Two times that they've had that issue, that's the thing that's kept them. So continuing to make sure you insulate yourself well, over-prepare, the aggressive correction. I think it was a tremendous process. They deserve a ton of credit for it. They're seeing the rewards of it right now. And even if Jalen Moore doesn't play another snap the rest of the season, even if he didn't play a snap the entire season, I think this whole process was tremendous by the Chiefs.
I agree. Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast is our guest. If everybody got to eat, does Rashee Rice have a full plate on Sunday?
Oh yeah, I think they're going to be full. I think they're going to Golden Corral against this Raiders team, and I think Rashee Rice is getting everything he wants. I think he's eating from day one. And I think everybody's eating from day one. This is going to be so much fun to watch. I am full send excited about this offense. I have no belief that it's slowing down, and getting Rashee Rice back into the fold, even though there's, maybe option 2 at left tackle, I don't think is going to be a concern. Man, I'm so excited to watch this offense go out and perform.
All right, last one for you, and then we'll get a prediction on the Raiders. The defensive performance on Sunday night against the Lions. After that first drive left a lot to be desired, obviously. And Drew Tranquill said, we can't do that. You can't be out there that long. But also said there were a number of unscouted looks and some different things that they threw out there that they weren't prepared for, and then they went and made adjustments to it, and they hold that team to 17 points, 21 if you're a conspiracy theorist there. But anyway, what did you think of the defensive performance from the Chiefs and this rushing defense, it's really interesting because it's like success rate, they're near the bottom, yet they don't give up 100-yard rushers. That first drive, maybe exposed some issues with the rushing defense. But how do you assess the defensive performance overall against the number one offense, holding them to 17 points or 21?
I think it's a little bit. I think it's a little bit noisy, just because I think the game script changed on the Detroit Lions, and it kind of forced them to get into maybe a different game script than what they'd try to employ for the entirety of the season or the entirety of the game, because the Chiefs offense started just churning and burning. They double dipped first half to second half, and I think that really changed how that game was played. But I do think at the same time, the defense does deserve some credit for the adjustments that they made. The running game really didn't get going too much in the second half, and the running game kind of went away because the game script changed, a little bit with the offense. But I think the Chiefs do a pretty good job. I know the success rate stuff, but it doesn't feel like it when the game's over, right? There's a little bit of feast or famine with this, and if you can get feast or famine at times with the run defense, that generates stops. And so, sometimes those stops are enough to kind of slow some things down here a little bit, right? And I think that can put the game script into a different setting, right? And I think that kind of was what happened to the Detroit Lions. They had to get into more of a drop back game because they were trailing by so many points, and that kind of changed some things up. So I still have concerns about a lot of things on the defensive side of the ball. I have concerns about this front, the pass rush, and the defensive line as a whole. I think it has some concerns. There's still some concerns with the secondary and some of the secondary usage, but the Chiefs were able to put themselves in a situation as a team where they held one of the best teams in football to 17 points. Complementary football is a big factor in that, but also don't completely discredit what the defense is doing either. So I think we're still kind of waiting and seeing. I think it could be something that could harm them down the road, but it really hasn't to this point. And I think Steve Spagnuolo, that defensive staff, and the players deserve credit for that.
Yeah, visited with Kent Swanson, and even yesterday, Dan Campbell at his press conference said, in the second half, he said, we had some breather plays that we were putting in, and it just, it didn't work, and they didn't go our way. And I think there was a 2nd and 8 where Drew Tranquil blew up that swing pass to Jahmyr Gibbs, and they lost 3 yards, and then Williams has a 1-yard catch with Brian Cook coming up and making the tackle, and they punt after the Chiefs scored a touchdown there to go up 20-10. And even when they were down 27-17, they had that quick 3-yard loss on first down with Nick Bolton. And so I think it's interesting where Dan Campbell was like, we were trying to do some things. We had some breather plays in there that just, would typically work, and they didn't in this game. And yes, game script is certainly a big part of some of those things that end up happening in the game. But I thought that was interesting to hear from Dan Campbell. Like, we had some plays that usually work that can get us ahead of the chains. And look, if a running back's going to average 5 yards per carry, I'd rather it be feast or famine. First down, he gets a 10-yard carry. Okay, great. First down, he gets a 0-yard carry. Awesome. Now it's 2nd and 10, but he's averaging 5 yards per carry rather than first and 10, 2nd and 5, first down. 1st and 10, 2nd and 5, first down. I'll take the 10 and 0 to set him up for 2nd and 10 there. All right, what do you think happens in the game on Sunday against the Raiders? 11.5-point favorites the Chiefs are.
We will all be stuffed. 31 points from the Kansas City Chiefs offense. Just an efficient offensive performance, letting the gas pedal down, or let the gas pedal up, I guess, in the fourth quarter. But this offense just looks tremendous, and the Chiefs drop 31 points. Defense does a good job. We'll call it 31-13. I think it's a blowout.
31-13. We'll see what happens. Kent, you're the man. Appreciate it as always, brother. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the football. We'll talk in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, let's get a tea time, guys. Let's get a little tea time going sometime soon.
I agree with that. Yes, I am down for that. Kent, you're the man. We'll do that. We'll figure something out. All right, there's Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Great stuff from him. 31-13, and the Chiefs letting up off the gas and still getting 31 in that game. I don't know. I hate to say, like, hey, it might be a game where you see Gardner Minshew, but, certainly didn't think the Ravens game was going to be that, where we saw Gardner Minshew, and we did, in a good way, obviously. We'll take a timeout, come back, continue rolling, hanging out at Heartland Men's Health in Overland Park. More Zone next. Second and a half or 2 second when I asked. Yeah, so we're going to disconnect and reconnect here. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy. Thank you to Kent Swanson. We're hanging out at Heartland Men's Health, Overland Park location. Check them out online, heartlandmenshealth.com. Give them a call, 844-447-C600. Thank you to Kent Swanson again. Sterling, you're out here, and you wanted to get your testosterone level checked. As we talked about early in the show, you thought you were going to pass out from getting the lab work done and getting the blood drawn because that's simply a condition that you have. One, did you pass out?
No. I want to give a huge shout because I honestly I hadn't had anything today besides coffee.
Well,
All
yeah,
I've had today
typically.
was black coffee, and so I was a little nervous. And Crystal, by the way, Crystal did a phenomenal job. She made sure she's like, lay down, I'll take care of you. You'll be fine. So shout out Crystal here at Heartland's Men's Health because she did a great job. I just got the results back. Again, I did this during the interview you had with Kent. I mean, it is quick.
Yep.
It is easy. And I will even say it was painless for me. And
How
I'm
about
a
that?
guy who doesn't like needles.
Yeah.
So shout out to them for being and
you're-
making this as easy as possible.
Yeah, it's painless for you, and you're a guy that does not have a high threshold for pain. So that's what's interesting about this is painless for you, and typically a lot of things hurt you.
So I got the numbers back.
Yeah.
And it was a fun game because, again,
fun, yeah.
31. Well, no, it was a fun guessing game. I had no idea. It's anywhere from 300 to 1,000
Is normal for your age.
Yeah, is normal, and so just got it back. You're working with a real man.
Is that right?
Yeah, 784. So
I guessed 580.
I guessed like 530. I didn't know what to guess. I was like, I don't know.
Marucci guessed 900.
Marucci thinks that I am just apparently eating cigarettes for breakfast.
Technically, he was the closest, but he went over, so he's out.
So he's out.
So I was the closest. Yeah, I was only I was 200 off of that one. So how about that?
What's cool as well, I think it's cool, just for everyone out there and who doesn't know, they also do a PSA.
Oh, 100%.
For your prostate. And I know I'm younger, but they normally don't doing that until 40s, 50s. But still, at 31,
they do it here
they
every
do it
time.
Every single time, just to check. And I'm in a good range, the normal range.
Good for you.
But it's something to at least monitor.
100%.
I know Les. We've talked about it a lot with Les Norman. And so even if you don't know, even if you think you're fine, I enjoyed getting it done, so now I have a baseline of what to go off of.
Yeah.
And now I know in 5 years, do it again. Even if I come back sooner than that, just see what the levels are at.
Yeah.
See if they've dropped, if they've flatlined, if they've stayed the same. I could not recommend that more. That was really easy, really quick. And again, honestly, I'll say it. It was fun.
Oh yeah,
Is
that right?
Well, no, it's kind of like a game.
Yeah.
It's like a game. It's fun.
Yeah. Do I feel normal? What's normal? Do I feel typical? What's typical? I don't know how somebody else feels. I don't know, if I have less energy or more energy than a typical man my age or what I felt like in the 20s or 30s. It certainly seems that way, but I don't know. I'm working more. All the different things that you talk about. Yeah. So yeah, every single time they'll check your PSA with that lab work. And as you're on testosterone replacement therapy, as I am, every couple of months they go back and do the lab work again to make sure everything is at a good level. Here's your PSA level on this one. 2 months later, here's your PSA. So, I mean, I don't know that I'd ever had my PSA level checked until 2 years ago, and now I've had it checked like 6 times over the last 2 years, which is vital for men because that's that prostate cancer, which
again, I've always wondered, why don't we be more proactive in this country?
Yeah.
And Heartland Men's Health is being proactive when it comes to helping you see what you are.
Yep.
I mean, I just find that so impactful, and I hope men in Kansas City and around the area, they do this.
We'll take a time out. We'll come back. We'll hear from plenty of testosterone with guys there at the at Arrowhead. Joe Cullen, one of the guys we'll hear from. Oh, you darn right. Going to hear from him and Spags and Nags and Tobes, and we'll hear from them coming up on the other side of the break. More Zone next. NFL fans, what is your favorite touchdown? Well, for me, it's the next one because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown can bring you closer to cashing in. From first touchdown scores to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, it's all there at DraftKings. And maybe you're looking at the game coming up tonight. Well, Jaylen Warren, That's the odds-on favorite for the first touchdown score. He's the odds-on favorite for an anytime touchdown as well. But maybe you're going to get a little frisky. Maybe it's Jamar Chase. Maybe it's Kenneth Gainwell who has gotten the football down near the goal line a couple of times. That's all at DraftKings. And here's a cool thing for new customers. You bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 810WHB. That's code 810WHB for new customers to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Kansas only. Eligibility restrictions apply. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, bet must win to receive reward. Minimum minus 500 odds required. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
All right, let's send it out to Arrowhead, where at the podium it is the special teams coordinator, Dave Tobe.
Go ahead, shoot. Bye.
What would you say is behind kind of the difference in the penalties just this week?
Focus. I think Coach put a lot of emphasis on it. I mean, we all emphasized it about being smart at the point of attack, and we just did a better job, and lucky we didn't get a lot of penalties. Too luck as well. Go ahead.
I know we've been talking about it every week. Do you feel Butker's progressing even despite the extra point?
Yeah, I do. We're going to keep working. It's just about focus, on the little things. The short field goals got to be just as much focus as the long field goals. And, he's been solid in practice, and we're just going to keep grinding on this thing.
You guys are more short field goals a couple weeks ago. How has that been going throughout, though?
Good. I mean, he's been making his field goals in practice. It's just about focus and really dialing in on the short ones, and and getting that consistency back game in and game out.
Just on the point after, it looked like he struck it in a really awkward way. What was behind that, and how coachable is
all right,
that?
You guys got to. I mean, that we changed his technique. That the leg would break down. Before, and he's still it's like changing a golf swing. You revert back, and he kind of reverted back. The leg broke. It collapsed a little bit, and it makes him spin out a little bit more. So he can't revert back to that anymore. We're trying to keep that thing's more rigid and stiff, so he's finishing downfield. That's really what it comes down to. That's it in a nutshell. And he keeps working on that, and that's about focusing every time, with his technique.
Dave, how much of this do you feel like is a mental battle?
Yeah, it's mental. I mean, it's all mental. That's what I'm talking about, focus. I mean, you got the technique, you practice it 1,000 times. It's just about repeating it, not letting that bad, old technique kind of creep in. And if anybody played golf, it's the same thing. It happens. So
this is a major part of coaching, but how much of it is kind of let him be and not maybe put more information in his head versus coaching?
I kind of, I lay back. I let him figure it out. Because he knows when as soon as he missed it, he knew exactly what happened. You don't need to sit there and get over on the net with him and cranking on him, he came back and he bounced back and he made all his other kicks were great. Every one of them was right down the middle. So we just got to keep pounding it, and he'll get better and better. And by the time we get to the most important games, he'll be Butker.
Dave, block kicks are up across the league. How have you managed to avoid being part of the block kick?
You work on protection. I mean, we've had some issues where look like we had some leakage, and we have. We've got lucky a couple times. You just gotta nip it in the bud. When you see a problem happening, you gotta correct it, and that's what you do. And then Butker, he does a good job getting that ball up. So if you do have a leakage, he can clean it up by his, how high he hits the ball. So that helps as well. And then, the punter, he gets it off quick. So that helps clean up some things too. So all those things, help.
We're going to go last to Pete.
What does Rashid's return mean for Thornton, potentially in special teams?
Thornton's going to, I can use him a little bit more now, which would be great. He's a threat as a kick returner and punt returner. Also in the coverage, kickoff coverage, he's got a lot of speed. So, we're going to have, there's a chance we could have 7 wide receivers up. So, 6, 7, or 6, 5, 6, and 7 got to help you somewhere on special teams. Otherwise, you're just wasting spots. So that puts Thornton back into that spot, as you guys understand.
Coach, I know you believe in Harrison. Have you gone through a time as a special teams coach where you had to bring in maybe a mental coach or a kicking coach to help you one out? And I don't see you kind of laying back on this one. But
I never have. I've called people before. I said, hey, take a look at this guy's technique and tell me if you see something. I'm not afraid to check my ego at the door at all. If I'm having issues. But I don't think we're there, honestly.
when things are going well in practice, that leads you to believe.
Yeah, I mean, you know, yep, that's my that's my answer. I'm not, you know, no.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.
All right, there's Dave Tobe, and Dave Tobe for the kids, a little 6'7".
Do you think that was he was told to say that?
I hope so.
Like a bit?
That'd be fun. Fun if he did that, you know? That'd be great. A little 6'7" from Dave Tobe. Kids love that, man. Kids love all of that stuff. So, so there you go. Dave Tobe talking about we changed, again, Harrison Butker. Another week, another conversation about Harrison Butker. Said that he's in his head. It's kind of like a golfer. Golfer that will change your swing slightly. He said sometimes the old technique comes back and sneaks back in, and as soon as he hit that extra point, he knew exactly what he did wrong. The rest of them were right between the uprights. And so it's just, he said, when we get to the most important kicks, he'll be Butker. Okay? You want to be in position to have those important kicks along the way. So you don't want to be missing important kicks in the regular season because I know what he's talking about there, right?
Yeah.
We know what he means. Getting to the playoffs, he'll be Harrison Butker. But said that it's the new kicking style, new technique. They changed that, and he's in his head. It's mental right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see as he does that more and more. And with Rashee Rice returning, Tyquan Thornton, a little more in the special teams. He said his kick return, punt return, and even as a gunner because he's so fast on the punt coverage. So it does give him a little more of a little more depth even at special teams now.
Yeah, and again, it's a great problem to have when you have 5 wide receivers that I think we all are saying we love to see them on the field, and you have 5 dudes. They should all be fresh.
Yep. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll head out to hear from Steve Spagnuolo. Here is he's going to be next up at the podium, we believe. It'll be, but also should let people know Brashard Smith is back at practice today, and Josh Simmons still gone. Still not with the team, but Brashard Smith returned to practice. He was sick yesterday. He's the only one that missed practice yesterday besides Josh Simmons. But he was sick. He's back at practice. That's the update that we have with Brashard Smith and any injury issue there. But, again, still no Josh Simmons back, and certainly I would guess Matt Nagy will be asked about that and what he saw from Jalen Moore, and maybe even a question of, have you had a conversation with Josh? You know, so you start to piece things together. Patrick Mahomes says he's praying for him. You know, you'll ask the different coaches those things. But, you know, and if there was a player at the podium today, I think he might have been asked about, have you reached out or talked with him as well. But no player today at the podium for the first time in a long time.
First time, long time.
First time, long time. That's right. It's been about 6-7 weeks or so, I feel like, you know.
Stop that. You've been hanging around your kid too much.
Tobe did it.
You've been hanging
You've
around
got
your
no
kid
Riz.
too much.
That's the problem. You've got no Riz.
You're just trying to aura farm right now, dude.
I'm not aura farming, dude. You're Delulu thinking that I'm over here aura farming.
Hate this.
Can we get a coach to the podium here?
Yeah, I'm tired of hearing Jason trying to TikTok trends. I don't like Jason talking in TikTok.
Oh, my goodness, man. That's because you're Skibbity Riz.
Hey, all I know is at least I didn't pass out getting my blood drawn, and shout out Crystal. That's all I'm saying.
That's right. Yep. Crystal, aura, strong. Riz, strong.
Testosterone, strong.
Yes. I think Steve Spagnuolo's at the podium. Here we go, Steve Spagnuolo.
High school haircuts.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Back in high school, I remember we had the hair. Our hair was down to here. It was during that time. Like, we didn't even cut your hair then. All right. On that note, I'll just open it up, and listen. We're on obviously the Raiders, and it's a big week. It's a rival week, so we're fired up about that, and another home game, which is good.
Steve, yesterday Drew talked about just making adjustments after that first drive. It seems like that's been a consistent thing with you guys. Is that based on what you're seeing, but also, like, I assume you got to have the guys that can sort of...
Yeah, I would put it right back on them, Sam. Like, we're very fortunate, we being the whole defensive staff, in that we have real cerebral guys. I mean, Drew's right up there, Nick. I mean, they come over, they see things, feel things, hear things out there that I can't hear. And they're always relaying it. And then, and Brendan and Joe and Dave and Matt and all the coaches kind of get together. We did a good job with that. I mean, we kind of hang our hat on that, hope to do it at every game. Because, all these teams that script these, it gets tough, because there's people moving all over the place. And it's usually things that we haven't seen or worked on. But our guys do a good job of settling in.
Steve, I know
you're on the Raiders, but the first touchdown that got called back was kind of a unique situation.
Yeah.
Really, refs have a conference and everything. What's going on with you and Andy and talking to them, and how did that kind of play out?
Yeah, I'm distraught that they scored, first of all, because that's the first thing. I remember the rule now. It didn't pop in my head at that moment. Because I don't even remember if he got under, if he was out of the gun. I couldn't, I just saw the motion, and what I remember from the play is I thought Trent McDuffie, he almost stopped it, but he was out there by himself. There was something else that should have happened defensively, and we got that all squared away. But I thought the effort he gave to almost get that thing defended. I mean, Goff did a great job getting in there. But, listen, I was happy that we were very fortunate on that play that it went that way and resulted in a field goal instead of a touchdown.
Was your sideline hollering out to them, hey, check this, or did they kind of figure it out on their own?
From my standpoint, I remember them, they just figured it out. That's the way I remember it. I couldn't tell you if anybody else on the back was saying, hey, that's a penalty. But I'm glad it worked out the way it did.
Steve, yesterday Drew Tranquil mentioned Joe Colin's run meetings. Can you talk about how those have really kind of set the stage for the week in defending the run?
Yeah, we every coach on our staff has an area. Joe's is the run game. Brendan on the same day does play action pass and drop back pass on first and second down. Dave Merritt third down, Matt red zone, and everybody. Rod's involved in all that, but Joe kicks it off. Joe's got some energy to him. So, but I think the credit really goes to the players get dialed in right from the beginning on Wednesday morning, because we always begin, no matter what team we're facing, with stopping the run. I say it all the time. If they're two-dimensional or can be two-dimensional, that's tough on us. So let's try to make it a one-dimensional game.
Where are you seeing growth in the pass rush when you bring 4 or less?
Growth?
No blitz, yeah. How
Yeah.
do you evaluate it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I thought as the game, I think Andy might have mentioned this, but as the game wore on, and this, because I thought Detroit did a good job early, where we didn't get some pressure. They decided that one drive where they were just going to throw it, and they had some success, and he maybe had a little more time than we really wanted. But I thought as the game got rolling and our guys got used to who they were going against, I thought it got better. So hopefully it'll keep going like that. Hopefully we can begin that way.
How much of that was this? I mean, you talk about complementary football, and obviously you guys are getting stops
Yeah.
from on the field. Andy can be maybe a little more conservative or pull
Yeah.
back, but when the offense gets going and when you get that, you basically got a double score. And
That's we love to be in that mode all the time. It does make a huge difference. I call it a little bit differently. I think the guys on defense, they think a little bit differently, and they should. And most teams offensively, when they get in, down 2 possessions, certainly down 3 possessions, you're going to see a lot more passes. And I think our guys can pin their ears back and play it as such. And again, it goes back to that's headed toward the one-dimensional. And that's a team thing. It's complementary football, just like you said, Sorry.
Last couple, we'll go Harold and then Matt.
When it comes to Shamari and Brian, they had mentioned both just the communication at the beginning, but now back there to not only fix communication, but play pretty decent.
Yeah, I think both those guys had really good, solid games. I mean, Brian tackled well. Shamari always tackles well. He had a bunch of tackles, right? And listen, I know you asked, I think you might have asked me last week about Noel Williams not playing a lot, and it was matchups and the whole thing, and this particular game was different. And where I'm going with it is it forces Chamari to play in 2 different spots. He plays a nickel, then he goes back there, and he plays safety. So for him to be able to do that and work with Brian says a lot about Chamari, and we value him and the fact that we can do both things with him. But I thought both those guys communicated and played really well in the game.
In that tackle spot next to Chris, especially, how do you feel like Derek has been kind of handling that since he came back?
Yeah, I rely heavily on Derek with regards to. I trust him. I mean, he knows what we're doing. I know he's going to be where he's supposed to be, and he handles his gap. And now we don't put Derek in the rush to passer because that's not his. But I think for what we're asking him to do, I think he's done a solid job for us. And we need that from those inside guys. I mean, you guys see it during the game. I mean, Chris can't be out there every down. So at some point, Joe's got to give him a break, and then the next 2 guys that go in there got to kind of hold the fort down until Chris gets back in there.
Thank you, Coach.
I know. Okay, good.
All right, there's Steve Spagnuolo. We will hear from Matt Nagy when he gets to the podium, but asked about, Drew Tranquill did bring up that yesterday and said those first drives, they were seeing things that they hadn't seen on film, unscouted looks, and they had to make the adjustments. And Steve Spagnuolo is saying, fortunate that they have cerebral guys, that they see and hear things on the field that we can't, we as in the coaching staff can't. And that opening script is really tough because they're going to throw things out there, every team, they're going to throw things out there that we haven't seen, and we have to adjust to those things, and they're able to do that. And they certainly did that against the Lions after the first couple drives.
Yeah.
Because, again, the second drive was a touchdown. They were 1 yard away from back-to-back touchdowns.
All the time, we were like, oh, no, what's happening? The Chiefs' defense looked horrible the first couple drives, and then they give up no more points or, like, one more scoring drive, and we're like, oh, yeah. And it happens every single game, and yet we always have amnesia and forget.
Yep. It happened against the Ravens, and then they do what they did against the Ravens. His view on the penalty, he said, well, first of all, I'm distraught that they scored. He's going back to the time. Distraught that they scored. He said, I remember the rule now, but it didn't pop into my head at the time. What I saw was McDuffie out there, and he said he was by himself. Someone else should have been out there. So, and then said, McDuffie, a great effort for him to almost get the stop there. But apparently somebody was supposed to go with Jared Goff when he went in motion. Nobody did. I kind of understand why nobody did, because I thought it was just going to be a direct snap to David Montgomery, and he's just going to run straight ahead.
Yeah.
We do that. See the Wildcat, he's going to catch it and go. And he caught it, took a step forward, threw the ball, and McDuffie was out there on an island. But he said there wasn't anybody on the sideline yelling illegal motion or anything. He said his memory, what he remembers, is that the refs were out there figuring it out. There wasn't any sort of help from the Chiefs sideline saying that was illegal motion and that was an illegal play, all of that stuff, and the play shouldn't count. But he was distraught in that.
I just love distraught.
They scored on that.
Makes it sound so much more.
Yeah. Well, what's also missed is the play before, Dan Campbell being granted a late timeout as the play clock was expiring.
I was livid.
I was distraught.
I was distraught.
Because Andy Reid was pretty pissed on
as
the sideline.
As he should be. It was clearly late.
And the Chiefs had it covered. They knew it was going to be a pass. They were ready for pass. They had everything taken care of, and they had somebody that was going to get to Goff too. Like that was done. It was a toast play. Chiefs were going to get a legit stop, but they got that late timeout, and I do believe he got the timeout called before the play clock ran down, because the official that calls the timeout is the official that's in the back corner of the end zone. So we don't have to make things up around here, because the Chiefs go and win, and when they lose, we acknowledge how they lost. And when they win, we acknowledge how they won and don't make up excuses.
We're adults, I guess.
Pretty much, yes. But the referee in the back corner, when the play clock is at 1, he starts running in. So I'm like, okay, so he got the timeout called before, so it wasn't like some ridiculous, it was after the play clock, like we saw in Chargers game when Harbaugh and Herbert, nobody called timeout, nobody signaled for a timeout, or maybe a Sirianni. It was the Eagles.
Yeah, that's
Sirianni,
what it was.
Hurts. Nobody signaled for a timeout. They threw the flag for delay a game, and as they're throwing the flag, the trainers and all run out with water, and then the officials look around and go, Philadelphia Eagles called a timeout. No referee blew their whistle. Sirianni was not asking for a timeout. Jalen Hurts never signaled for a timeout.
That's almost how it is, though, now.
Yeah.
When it comes to delay a game, it's either basically you get a delay game or do you want to use a timeout to...
But in this case, that referee was already running in with 1 second left on the play clock. So I do think it was a legit penalty watching it again because, we don't need to make stuff up. Here's Matt Nagy.
Maybe don't always know how it's all going to come together, but these receivers really seem to like each other.
Yeah.
Have you sensed that? Have you noticed that this year?
I really have. It's a really cool. Everyone throws around the word culture. It's like the relationships that these guys have built. Obviously, winning helps, but this has gone back to OTAs and then training camp, where it started, and it's something that's special. We've talked about it in the last couple of weeks, what these guys have done in that wide receiver room. There's only one football, and so statistically, these guys are going to have a certain amount of plays or catches. for example, or touchdowns. You look at a guy like Thornton last week. He didn't have a catch. So important to this offense and what he's done. He's a team player, great kid. And the guys are just embracing that, and we're having fun. It's selfless football, and it's every day. It's not just pick and choose, and I think that's just a credit to those players for embracing that, understanding it, and then when you win, it certainly makes it a ton of fun.
What will it mean to inject Rasheed into what you guys have going on?
So Rasheed, his growth from rookie year to last year, unfortunately getting hurt, to now this year, I think the word is just exciting for the optimistic. The kid has done so much on and off the field to better himself, both as a person and a player. And I think you feel that and see that with the love and the friendship that these guys have internally. You see that, you feel it. So, I have to get goosebumps just thinking about when he goes out there and what he does to this offense. And there's an excitement that you have. You got to remember now, he hasn't played for a little while. So there's a little bit of some realness to it too. But that's the beauty of what Brett Veach and Coach Reed have done with the depth that we have in this offense. And, I think it's been well stated that there haven't been a whole lot of plays or games that the three of those guys have played together, and now we get a chance to do that.
Matt, with a player like Max Crosby, how mindful do you have to be of that in your play calling and how do you approach that?
You have to. And in the offseason, the Kelsey brothers, and they did that little deal, that interview with me. They asked me, who's one of the most important defensive or toughest defensive players that you go against, and Max Crosby's right there. So anytime, you're talking about a ton of players and somebody that just does he goes 100% of the time, all the time, and it's relentless. And so he's a game changer. He can affect the game. And so just a ton of respect, and you got to know where he's at on every play.
With him mostly lining up on the left, I guess, how have you seen Jawan grow and the confidence he had in this particular matchup?
Well, it's been good. I remember, just going back and looking at Jawan when he was a free agent, and they've had some battles now prior to Kansas City, before Jawan was here. They've gone at it. And so it'll be a test. I have a ton of confidence in JT, and I know he respects the heck out of Max, and so it's a good battle.
Man, with Rasheed, how have you just seen him off the field through this whole roller coaster this last 6 months or so? Because he didn't know when he was going to be suspended, and he said camp, but, kind of up and down, and especially the last 3 weeks that he's been here.
Yeah, no, the person that I see, and just kind of him understanding what he did wrong, and part of that when you go through that is you got to be able to accept that and understand that what happened was not right, but you got to be able to learn from that. And I think when you can do that, that's a powerful message, and he's done that. And his growth as a football player, which is where I see him most, that's the part where, he wants to grow on how to learn and grow on how to run a sail route or a corner route or a quick, post route, 5-step, little things like that are first world problems for everybody else. For him, it's something that he can keep growing with. So I love where he's at, and kid has a smile on his face every day, and he's ready to rock and roll.
Matt, with the receiving depth and the way the line seems to have been coming together, what are you seeing in Patrick's level of just confidence and trust in everything around him?
It's on another level. The trust, that trust is powerful. You got to have that. You want to be able to take shots downfield. Well, you can't do that if you don't have protection. You want to be able to take shots downfield. You got to have the guys that together can attack a defense. So you put that together, and then you put Patrick back there, and these guys they're executing at a high level right now. And so as a coach, that's fun to be able to come in here on a Monday and put together and show them how we're improving. We're creating this identity. And, I just go back to eliminating those penalties. When we don't beat ourselves and just stay ahead of the sticks, we can do good things. But consistency, you have to be able to do that every week, and you can never get complacent. So those two words, I think, go hand in hand. And if we do that, we stick together, we keep that edge, it can be a special, special year.
And do you think it's fair to say that Patrick's comfort and trust is, higher than it's been in a while with everything around him?
100%. 100%.
Last three, start with Sam.
With Jalen Moore, can you just describe what the difficulty of that assignment of learning that late that he's going to play and maybe not gotten all the first team reps during the week and plugging in there?
Right. Well, I say two things. So number one, the good thing about him coming here is that he does have experience. Number two, he's mentally strong, so he's always prepared, knowing that he's that guy at any moment that can go in there. And then the third part too is Coach Heck does a great job of being able to rotate guys in practice. And so you throw all those three together, and then all of a sudden you get kind of a short notice, quick deal that, hey, you're going to start and play against one of the best defensive ends in the game. What a credit to him. And he just stayed true and time tested. And I think it was a pretty cool moment after the game when he broke down the huddle. The huddle was pretty cool.
Your name's been associated with the Tennessee Titans job. Not the first time that your name's been associated with those jobs.
Sure.
What do you do with that?
I'd say, you start off with, for me, like you just said, I've been through this situation before, and I think it's very, very important that knowing that, you got to figure out ways how to navigate it. And so every coach is a little bit different on how they do that. And for me, going through it before, what I've learned is that you want to make sure that you are preparing the right way, and when you prepare, that's in the off season. So that said, it's very, very important that you stay in the moment and you don't lose focus on anything else. And it's the social media world right now can get crazy, and there can be a lot of things said, but it's only fair to your peers, your players, coaches, et cetera, that you stay true to them, you stay in the moment, and then when the time does come, you look forward to it. But the time's not right now, so I'm all what we have going on right now in this building, and I've been here for going into 9 years, 5 and now 4. It's something that's different in a good way, and so I love being a part of it. I love coming here, being with these guys every day, and man, it's just awesome.
Matt, you did prepare for it in the off season, like this is something.
Yeah, yep. I think that's important to do.
Last one, Zach.
Coach Reed mentioned Mark DeLeon and how he's helped you a little bit from a defensive perspective. Can you talk a little bit about his role?
For sure. He's Mark DeLeon again goes back to his defensive side of the ball here with Coach Sutton back in 13, 14, 15 when we were here. And so I think it's a unique role where you have somebody that has an expertise on defense that can come in and really help confirm and maybe tell us we're idiots sometimes when we think we know everything on offense that the defense is doing, and he can maybe help us out some, and he's been great with that. He pours a lot of time and energy into what he does, and I give Coach Reed a lot of credit for embracing that type of opportunity for him, and he's been a huge advantage this year for us.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Y'all take care.
All right, there is Matt Nagy, and talking about Jalen Moore, what he was able to do, getting ready for Max Crosby, who he said goes 100% of the time. And it's as close as you're going to see a defensive end go 100% of the time, because he's missed just a few plays this entire year. His snaps on defense this year, 100, 98, 100, 97, 96, 97.
I still remember, was it last year or a couple years ago when he was doubtful and he played
the whole game. Here's Joe Cullen.
With that, I'll open it up for questions.
Joe, with running backs like Genty and that offensive line, what did you have when you come back and prepare for this week with the run game?
Well, I'll tell you what now. They do a great job. Coach Kelly and Coach Carroll, they've emphasized the run game, and Genty's he can make all the cuts. I mean, you look at the Chicago game when he broke those long runs. You look at the Washington game, he had some great runs in there. Every week he's gotten better and better. So it's all hands on deck, all 11. We're going to have our hands full. He's a heck of a player. He was at Boise, and he's continuing to do it. He's got like 430 yards rushing and top 10 in the league. So we got our hands full, run and pass.
And with Chip Kelly, how have you seen him evolve from when he was at Oregon to where he's at now as a play caller?
Well, I think I've known Chip for 37 years. I played at UMass. He was at New Hampshire. He's a phenomenal schemer, offensive coach. He's going to put his players in best positions to make plays.
Coach, that spot next to Chris on the interior, how have you felt just in general about the production, especially with Derek?
Well, you know, Derek's whoa, there we go, Raider week. Okay.
Fired up.
Well, with Derek, Derek's the first, second down, run stopping, nose tackle, but with him, with Omar, Omar's given some great reps in there. Early on in the year, the Eagles game against Philadelphia, he had his first career sack. And then obviously in the Giant game, he had 22 snaps and played the run and the pass well. So, and Jerry Tillery's done some good job in there. So it's an ongoing process, and those guys are going to continue to get better.
Joe, Drew Tranquil mentioned the run game meetings that you kick off the week with. Can you just talk about your goals and what you like to do there?
Well, everything starts, Coach Spags gives us the goals for the week, and he, like I said before, Coach Spags does a great job. He empowers, he gives ownership to all the assistant coaches, not just the position coaches, but all the young coaches as well. They have a certain game plan part of the week that they have to present. And we have a little run game meeting. And we spice it up and what our goals are, who we got to stop, how we're going to stop them, and it's just part of football.
Coach, during the preseason, there was a lot of talk about. I know pressures are important. It's not just about sacks. But it seemed like there was a real kind of focus. Chris has talked about it. About pressures are great, but we got to get the quarterback down.
No question about it. We have a saying. Pressures and hits are great, but we want him on his back. And we had our opportunities, and we're continuing to get better. And usually, analytics will tell you that usually leads to sacks. We had some great tight coverage. The other night with Goff, he got rid of the ball 2.2 faster than anyone we've seen all year. So when you get rid of the ball, but then when the coverage is there, rush got to be there. And Coach Spags had a great call at the end of the game. We locked them down. Chris had a great move inside, had them wrapped up. Charles cleaned them up. We had opportunities earlier to do that and didn't get them down. But it's just an ongoing. You got to keep getting better at it. When the coverage is there, rush has to be there. It goes hand in hand.
Joe, how do you spice up the run game meetings? What is it you do to animate that so much?
Well, I think all the coaches do a great job with their area. We just, there might be some things in there that we put in and we talk about, but it's just, being creative with it.
Visual aids?
There's some visual aids. I like Mike Tyson. If we have to knock the run out, I want to show Mike Tyson knocking some people out.
Last couple.
I saw Chris Jones a bunch after that bad play, and everybody was talking bad about him. He was with you a lot. Can you talk about the relationship you have with your guys and helping them get through tough times?
Well, I learned this from my mentor a long time ago. You're only as good as your last play. That last play, that particular day, we weren't very good. Coach and me, and then playing. It wasn't just Chris, but you got to put that behind you and learn from it and move forward and give your best effort the next play. There was some great efforts leading up to that play when we got the quarterback down and should have got him down another time, but it was just one of those fluke things. And the thing that we try to stress from Coach Reed on down, Coach Spags does a great job of it. You never know when that play is going to come. So that play could come on the third play of the game, could come on the 63rd play of the game. You give everything you have till you can't give any more, and that doesn't happen. But Chris is as good as there is in the NFL at his position, and he bounced back great, and he had a great game last week. When we needed it the most in crunch time, he was there.
Last one, anyone?
What other things are you're really working on? Right? Is sacks the number one thing just to get the quarterback on the ground? Is there other things that are points that you're working on that you
every day in your technique? Every day in your technique. From the run game, when Spags asks you to drop. It's just ongoing. Every game.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
All right, there is Mr. Football, Joe Cullen. I can listen to him talk all day. Let's talk football. You want to talk about football?
It's just 1960s.
It's just so great, man. I love football.
Barbasol.
That's right, Barbasol.
It's impressive.
Loved me some Joe Cullen, man. And he runs those run game meetings every Wednesday and tries to spy a little bit. So when he's talking about the run game, he likes Mike Tyson. So he shows Mike Tyson knocking people out a lot. And this
Who
one
doesn't?
That's true. The people that are knocked out. This week is going to be a lot about Ashton Jeanty. If Genty's not running well, this Raiders offense is bad. And that offensive line is bad. It could be a laugher quickly if Jeanty cannot find space to run and they're in second and long and third and long.
I do want to bring this up a little later on when we have more time.
Yeah.
The Chiefs' raw numbers against the run have been good this year, but some of the underlying analytical numbers have not been great. As we saw that first drive, Jahmyr Gibbs, 3.8 yards a carry, but that first drive was almost every carry, 3.8 yards. What does that mean? First down.
Yeah. Yep. We're also being told that maybe Chris Jones will be at the podium at some point today as well.
Okay.
After the coaches. We'll see who's at the podium right now. Coming up, I think it is going to be Connor Embry. Is at least if the lineup stays the same. That's the wide receivers coach, local guy. Love rooting for, some of the local people and rooting for his success. And
by the way,
he's got himself a pretty damn good wide receiver room now.
I pushed back a lot against the Embry hate when he was a rookie coach in the wide receiver room. And
You did.
this is why.
Yeah.
I think receivers make more the difference. And we've seen
No,
development, by the way.
I think he's a better coach now. I think he has learned how to coach. He didn't know how to coach earlier. That was the thing. That was the problem. He didn't understand coaching wide receivers, and now he does.
Like when MVS dropped the ball, I was like, it's Embry. I'm like, no, MVS is an 8-year veteran. He can't tell him to catch that rock.
He gave him the wrong technique. He showed him the wrong technique as to how to catch the football. Turns out they should have been coaching two hands the whole time. They were coaching only one hand. They practice Odell Beckham Jr. the whole time. That's what they do. Here's Connor Embry.
This year, maybe even more so than other years. Just what have you seen from that group?
Yeah, they're a very close group. Everyone gets along. The biggest thing I think is they all like to watch each other succeed. So they're each other's biggest fans, and they're truly just all brothers.
And how hard is that in a year like this where a lot of guys are producing and now even Rashid's coming back?
Yeah, I don't think it makes it easier now that they all, like I said, they're all each other's biggest fans. They root for each other. They want to see each other succeed, so I think it makes it easier.
What have these last few weeks like been with Rashid in the meeting rooms? Like, what's his? I'm sure he's super anxious behind practicing this week.
Yeah.
What's he been like?
Yeah, he's been his old self. Rashid, he's like you said, he's ready to go. He's been in the meetings, taking good notes. He always takes great notes, knows what to do. So yeah, he's his normal self.
To you, how did he look yesterday? I know it's not necessarily like the most rigorous
Yeah.
practice, but just seeing him with the rest of the group for the first time.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks in good shape, and he's been doing what he's supposed to been doing since he's been gone. So yeah.
The last time we talked to you, I asked you just about the bad luck that you've had the last couple of years.
Mhm.
How do you feel now on the brink of, for the first time really since you've been the receivers coach, of having all your guys
Yeah.
together and healthy?
Yeah, it's like you said. This is really probably the first time since I've been here that everyone's here, and the biggest part, I just hope everyone stays healthy and we can keep it going and kind of get a game streak going that way, not the other way. But yeah, I'm excited.
Just a follow-up to what Jesse was asking about how close this group is. As a former college wide receiver
Mhm.
yourself, how unique is that to the wide receiver position group?
Yeah, sometimes they get bad. I mean, us receivers get some bad raps every once in a while, being, selfish and all that. But, like I think, like I said earlier to him about just they're brothers. Like they really just love hanging out, love being with each other. Like when they're not in the building, they're doing something together outside of the building. So I think that's just special, and I enjoy being able to be a part of that and kind of help him do that.
Connor, when you watch the tape this year, I know it's essentially 3 games, but
Yeah.
what do you appreciate most about Xavier's ability to be just a route runner, not
Mhm.
just to be a guy that is just strictly up and down speed?
Yeah, I think sometimes not just even him, but some receivers when they come out from college into the pros, they kind of get a bad knock on them for being fast and thinking that they just only can do one thing just because they're fast. But I said it earlier too. I thought he did a good job this offseason of developing and improving on areas that me and him talked about going into the offseason. And everyone knows, and you can see it on tape, he's not just a straight line, I'm going to just run track out here. He's a football player, so it's great having him.
Couple more.
Were you trying to work in the offseason? Were you trying to work more on like short areas, like stuff, or was it more intermediate type of footwork routes? How do you get in and out of your break?
Yeah, I'd probably say like the second part, the intermediate. I think that's the hardest part for any receiver. That's probably the area where all receivers need to improve on, that intermediate area. And then just with him, just learning how to use his speed. Like, it's just like a pitcher. You don't want to just throw your fastball all the time. You need secondary pitches. So he has to learn how to, look like he's running 100 miles per hour, but really be running 80. So, and like I said, I think he did a good job in the offseason doing that.
Last one, anyone?
You mentioned that the receivers can sometimes have the stereotype of being selfish, but
this group obviously has got everybody got to eat.
Yeah.
Motto.
Yeah.
Do you like seeing that? I mean, is that something that you embrace too?
Yeah, I think, and I told the group at the start of the year, like, it doesn't matter if we win 2-0 or 100-0. I don't care if you guys get 100 catches or 0 catches. The most important part is to win, and I think they buy into that. The whole team does, and that's why we are who we are.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
All right, there is Connor Embry, wide receiver coach. We'll hear from Joe Blameyer, pass game coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, coming up in a little bit, and we think maybe Chris Jones as well, but there may be a little bit of a break between Blameyer and Chris Jones. But Connor Embry, he's got a fresh, full, healthy. That's wood. Nope, wood down there. Over at Heartland. Anyway, so
you beat me
there's
to it.
He's got a healthy wide receiver room and ready to go. And Rashee Rice returning along with Xavier and Hollywood, but throw in Taekwon and Juju, who's played much better.
Firm wide receiver.
100%. You're right about that, man. It's a good one, and it might be the best, especially. I mean, if we look at the injuries around the league, then it is clearly the best wide receiver room in the National Football League because of the ravaged injuries to the wide receiver room in Tampa. And CD is out when you've got CD and Pickens and Turpin and a couple of those guys, and with injuries there. If we're just talking about available players right now, I think Kansas City with Rice, Worthy, Hollywood, Juju, Taekwon.
They have great flow too.
100%. Yes, absolutely. They're really good, and everybody got to eat. So we'll see if everybody is who's going to be eating this weekend. I think it's going to be everybody.
That could be a segment. Who's eating this week for wide receivers? Which of them is going to lead?
Yeah, you're right.
That could be a fun one.
Because we've had Taekwon a couple times. We've had Hollywood. We've had Juju.
Who gets the largest section of the wishbone?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who
gets the largest portion on their plate?
Everyone eats, obviously.
Well, yeah.
No one's going hungry. But someone has to eat more than the rest. Someone gets the largest.
Is there somebody that's going to have to be
chicken.
stealing bread? I don't mind stealing bread. I'm going hungry.
Yeah, I don't like that. My point was I think it'd be a fun bit to do is who gets the largest, who gets the largest steak.
We can certainly do that. We'll do it tomorrow.
Everyone eats, but someone eats more.
Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it on Fridays with Matt or Mick.
Love
who's gonna eat most?
Give me
who
a
gets
sticker
the
for
most
that.
food?
That gets a helmet sticker.
Yeah, cool. Let's just get a helmet. We should probably try to do that before we get back.
Is there a
stickers.
helmet somewhere we could just
don't know? I'm not really sure.
No, don't actually take it. Easton's walking behind to steal a helmet from the office here at Heartland Men's Health. Don't do that. We're gracious enough that they let us have a someone's office, which is incredible here. Don't steal said helmet. Easton Marucci.
By the way, I think this is a 300-yard passing game for Mahomes.
Rip it.
Against the Raiders. 300 right now is plus 262.
Yeah, I've already thrown a little bit down on some fun Chiefs numbers.
3 or more pass touchdowns is plus 175 for Mahomes. That might be to Rashee Rice alone. Here's Joe Blameyer.
Hey, Joe, the receivers, Pat has talked about how they seem to love each other. They seem to get along, I guess. When you're around them, you see them a lot. How do we know that just from being around them? What do you see?
I think it's a good observation, and anybody that's been around them in this room, or me, or any of the coaches, it's a genuine respect and admiration that they all have for each other. And when you have that respect for somebody else in your receiver room that's doing the same job, that comes to work, is prepared, it allows you to kind of appreciate the different skill sets that everybody has. And so there's no jealousy or rivalry. It's more of just a mutual respect, and then how can we all complement each other to have fun, play our best, and move the ball. So it's a true statement. They do get along great. I think it's built on that true respect.
Every room's different. Is this one maybe a little unique?
Yeah, the uniqueness, I think, is just people from different eras. You have some veteran guys, you have some younger guys all across the country, and they've all come together. We've had guys who have grown up in our system and guys that have come from other places, and they've just gelled into this cohesive unit in 2025. So that aspect of it is a little unique.
Joe, can you describe the value? I asked this as Rashee's coming back, but the value of yards after catch and the offense, obviously something you guys have been really good at.
Yeah, I think the value of it is in a way, eliminating some third downs. And so when you have the yards after the catch, we're always trying to get explosive plays that move the chains. Sometimes the easiest or highest percentage throw is shorter, but if you can take that higher percentage completion and turn it into a yards after catch that moves the chains, you're just prolonging the drive, raising the likelihood that you're scoring points and staying out of those third downs where the potential is coming off the field. So I think in the grand scheme of things, we've been good on third downs, and we've been great having third and manageable third down shorter and staying sort of ahead of the sticks. But the yak really helps you, I think, keep continuing to move the chains.
Joe, you've been waiting, obviously, to get all three of these guys out on the field together. Is it a case of just like seeing them do the same things that have always been done, or is there 10, 20, 30% of the offense that you haven't been able to put out on the field that maybe has been sitting there for a year and a half, that just waiting for these guys to all be out there together?
Yeah, it's a matter of, I think that's accurate, but how we envision it and kind of how we see it, whether as coaches or even as a group, what you put out on the field and how it plays out is sort of a different thing each year, and with each of the guys that we have anyways. And so there is, without having these three guys be on the field together yet, we haven't been able to necessarily even see, what assumptions that we were making were holding true, or what we could hang our hats on and then continue to build off of. So there is just an element of each year you got to develop a passing game and kind of find some staples and use guys to their best abilities and then complement off of that. Us being able to do that, and whether our vision for it or whether it takes a little turn and we go a different route with the guys, that part of it is what we're yet to see.
Couple more.
Not to ask this about a 35-year-old, but year over year, how do you see Travis Kelce raise his game?
Yeah, I think a lot's been said about it. One of the things that I think is unique with Travis, especially at 35, he finds an ability to get better during the season. And so we're here in October, and sometimes guys, especially guys that know they're going to play, know they're going to have a lot of snaps, can go into each week of the season, like especially October, with sort of a self-preservation mode of just trying to maintain where they are physically and do it on Sunday. And so they don't really push themselves during the week. They're trying to save something back for Sunday. Trav continues to push himself Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, and that allows him to get better. And so I think that's what's gotten him to this point, and he hasn't slowed that down. So even at his age and the years that he has, he's continuing to get better week to week. And so I think you're seeing it a little bit in the stats, but he's always done that. That's rare. The guys who are new, and especially the wide receivers that see him work, can take that as an example that just because the season starts, it's not all about Sundays. It really is what you do each day.
Last two, Nate and then Nick.
Joe, before Patrick throws the ball, is there something that you're noticing this year that maybe most people aren't noticing?
Before he throws the ball, there's a comfort level in regards to him being familiar with the receivers. He doesn't necessarily need to check where all the guys are, how they're releasing, what they're doing on the second level. Sometimes when you have newer pass receivers and you see a look pre-snap that could raise some level of difficulty for the guy's route, you kind of just want to peek and just make sure he's all right. And as you go through the season with the same group of guys, he's had Xavier, he's obviously had Trav, with Rashid coming back and Hollywood playing the snaps, even Taekwon. There's a comfort level with no matter what type of look pre-snap is happening, those guys will get to the spot that they need to get to. So he doesn't need to necessarily just peek and make sure he can go through his normal progression. He can look at the defense rather than checking his own guys. And then I think that is a level of calmness that you're seeing. But I think that comes with just the familiarity with the receivers and him just knowing that they'll get to where they need to get to.
Last one, Nick.
And Joe, Andy mentioned on Monday he recognized you and Matt for the game plan you put together this past week. For you as a coach, what makes it so unique when you guys are putting ideas together to create the game plan during the week?
The uniqueness is just trying to marry building off what you've done, staying a step ahead of the defense, and then still attacking that specific defense or the personnel that they're going to have each Sunday. So if it was just about attacking a defense, or if it was just about doing a little scheme different each week. That would be easy. When you're trying to marry it and then keep it manageable for the guys and keep it new for the defense, there's that aspect of when it does come together and you're able to showcase the talents that you have on your team and attack a defense, and it works, it's a good feeling.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, there you go. There's Joe Blameyer, passing game coordinator. We'll take a timeout, come back, continue rolling. We're hanging out at Heartland Men's Health today. It is one of 3 area locations. We're at the Overland Park location, also Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit and North Kansas City. It's heartlandmenshealth.com. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. More Zone next. All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, hanging out at Heartland Men's Health Overland Park location. We heard from the coordinators and assistant coaches. Now let's hear from the big man, defensive tackle Chris Jones for the Kansas City Chiefs out at Arrowhead.
Women these days don't know how to say thank you. No, I'm just playing with you. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Well, you said it later after I like. It's okay. It's completely fine. Completely.
Go for Chris.
Chris, over the past couple of weeks, you faced some really good running backs in Helton. The Lions under 100 yards, the Jaguars that's under 50. You face another one in Gen T this week with the Raiders. Just what has been the success of the running guys defense for you guys?
Joe Cullen, he is our run game coordinator, and he's been putting us in the right position to capitalize on the plays.
Just that simple. It's more unique and involved with just guys.
Well, I think with your run game coordinator, they kind of have to display the runs throughout the week for your rate. And as you build up repetition throughout the week, you kind of know what's coming. So for us, it's familiarity in the game, and we're able to be in our spots and capitalize on it.
Chris, when you were a young guy, who was the veteran that spoke in the meetings that you kind of took influence and took tips from? And have you used some of that to be that guy now for this particular group?
Well, I had a lot of older guys. Alan Bailey, Dunter Poe was more so one of the guys who didn't speak a lot, but when he did speak, it was very powerful. Eric Berry. And, you take a lot from guys like that over the years, and the good and bad, and you see how you can influence your group as you get older and push the best out of individuals.
Chris, what have you seen from Charles Amena this year compared to last year?
He had 2 sacks in back-to-back weeks, so yeah, keep him on that trend. Keep his spirits high and a positive mind frame. Charles, we can utilize Charles in multiple sets for us. He can be a great asset for us, especially in the long run in the playoff. He can play defensive end, defensive tackle when he put his mind to it. But yeah, we got to keep Charles in good spirits, keep him going.
It looked like on the field that he maybe thanked you for that sack that he had.
Listen, man, it's a lot of layups going around these days. Man. I'm giving out a lot of layups. You look at the back-to-back weeks, Charles came under me in Jacksonville, got a layup. Look, last week I missed a sack, he got a layup. But as long as it stays in the D-line room, we don't give them to the DBs and the linebackers, That's a whole nother story.
Not reflection on anybody that's still here, but what do you guys miss with Mike Pennell?
Everything, and hopefully, life do a full circle and we get my guy back. Mike Pennell is a heck of a locker room guy. And, so many things I can say about my brother. We got to get my brother back.
Chris, I know you guys have got a nice turnover ratio, but you probably don't have as many turnovers as you guys would like to have on defense. What's the key to getting more of those?
4-man pass rush. We got to get the front four going, creating havoc. If we can get pressure on the quarterback with our front four defensive linemen, then we can force them to throw the ball quick or throw eerie throws and feed the DBs.
Chris, when you see the Lions and you see Jared Goff going, motion, I'm just curious, you'll register in your head, okay, we talked about this is what's, they're probably doing, or are you just still going straight forward after whatever?
Well, Dan Campbell is such an intriguing coach. We knew something out of the ordinary was going to happen. We just didn't know when. And, I honestly didn't know that play was called back. I thought they was going for it for 2 when we was going back on the field, but I realized they called it illegal motion because the quarterback under center, and when you leave, you have to be set for a second, then run the play. And I think he was still motioning when they snapped the ball, so I thought they actually scored. But we knew something was going to happen with Dan Campbell.
Do things feel different this week with it being Raider week? Is that more intense for you guys, just with that being a rivalry?
For us right now, I think everything is super intense. I think we're at 500 right now. We just got to 500. We was under 500 a week ago. So everything right now for us is intense, and there's a huge sense of urgency around the building, individually also. So I think everything is magnified, whether it's play calling, whether it's execution, or just flying to the ball with us right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, there is Chris Jones. He'd like to have his guy Mike Pinnell back. Great question by Matt Derrick. This is not a commentary on anybody here in the building, but what are you missing with Mike Pinnell? And he said, everything. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, continue rolling. More Zone next. Hanging out at Heartland Men's Health, catching up from the longer press conference today. 7 different people. Not 6, but 7. 6, 7 typically. We usually have 4. But today we got 7. So it's like the Lions. They wanted 7. They got end up with 3, so they got 4 fewer. But you can give them 4 more. They still lose by 9. So we heard from all of those coaches and Chris Jones. We're going to play some sports or leisure on the other side of the break, heading up till 2 o'clock. That is right. Sports or leisure. I give it a 72% if it's a Colt Classic. That's a fact.
This is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to a little sports or leisure.
Good for you. I'm glad. Hopefully you are as well. 913-3810810. We're hanging out at Heartland Men's Health, Overland Park location. Check them out at heartlandmenshealth.com and see what all the things they can do for you. Sports or leisure next.
You're into sports, but nothing wrong with a little leisure time. Why not both?
You're going to have a heart attack by the time you're 40 if you don't learn to relax.
It's time for sports or leisure on The Zone with Jason Anderson.
All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy hanging out at Heartland Men's Health, Overland Park location today for us. Give them a shout, 844-447-6600 if you are looking for whether that be testosterone replacement therapy, if you have suffered from erectile dysfunction, whatever that might be. It is heartlandmenshealth.com, and also they are working on these great new peptides and cutting-edge solutions that they continue to try to optimize men's health. It's what they are always trying to innovate and find different ways, and they've got these exciting new peptides that they have been talking about here. So you can get your testosterone level checked. You get your PSA checked as well. And if you're suffering from ED, it is Heartland Men's Health.
And again, I will say, even if you're younger, 31-year-old over here, decided just because we're in here, let's get it done. Took 15 minutes. They took care of me, and it was a really, actually, again, fun experience trying to almost play a game. Even if you're younger and you're just wondering, I mean, again, I felt fine, but just wanted to at least check. It's really cool to do. So, again, I recommend it very much so, even for some of us who might be a little younger.
913-3-810-810 is the phone number. Let's play some sports or leisure. We're going to have to go quick through this for this final hour. 913-3-810-810 is the phone number. We have some Chiefs questions on the sports side category. Chiefs questions, and we have general NFL. That's what we have for today because I don't need a couple of other categories because we are going to have a quicker show today. I'll save some of the Royal stuff for next week when we are closer to or in the World Series. Sterling, what about the leisure side?
We have sports nicknames. We have classic rock one-hit wonders, and we'll have riddles.
All right, we got all of those. We are playing for $25 to Johnny's Tavern. You get a sports question and a leisure question right. You win if you get them both right. And if you get either of them wrong, you lose. But the question is out there available for someone to call in and request. We give out the right answer when someone has answered it correctly, or we have simply run out of time to play. 913-3-810-810. I'm ready to play. Sterling, you good to go?
I am ready.
Michael, what say you? Very good. A little more grace to Michael today because this is his first time running sports or leisure with us on location.
Yeah, it's tough.
So let's see how it goes. We bring in Charles first up to play some sports or leisure on a Thursday. Charles, what side would you like to start with, sir?
Let's do some leisure and the sports nicknames, please.
All right, sports nicknames. We'll go with NBA. We'll go with a fun one, the glove.
The glove.
Oh, yeah.
Great defender, shockingly, by the name.
100%.
Played on a few really good teams.
Yep.
Played for a long time, and he was a point guard. His son, by the way, is now currently in the NBA.
He tried to get himself a ring late in his career.
A couple teams.
Yeah, didn't work though, unfortunately.
Gary Payton.
He didn't have to. Yeah.
That is Gary Payton.
Yeah, he didn't have to fit a ring over the glove. He did not have to do that.
Did he not eventually get with Miami?
Did he?
I want to say he eventually got with Miami.
Never mind.
Could be wrong.
I could be wrong as well. I mean, or
yep, he did get with Miami in 06.
Like I said,
he tried with the Lakers, is what you were thinking of, and then Boston, and then he went to Miami and did get one in 06.
Very good. So he can fit one ring over the. He got it though. That's what matters. Charles, onto the sports side. We have Chiefs questions and we have general NFL questions.
Let's do general NFL.
General NFL questions for you. All right, so let's go with this one. Ashton Jeanty, who the Chiefs play this weekend against the Raiders, had a rushing touchdown and receiving touchdown in the same game a couple of weeks ago. Since 1970, there have been only two other Raiders rookies to do that. Who are they? Who are the Raiders rookie running backs since 1970 to have a receiving and a rushing touchdown in the same game?
Same game.
Yep. Same game. Raiders running backs, rookies. Ashton Jeanty joined the list of these two fellas. pretty good list for Ashton Genty to be on.
You want
Give you a
both
heads
of
up.
them, right?
I think both of them just because
We're
when you
good.
think Raiders
Yeah,
running
fine.
backs.
We're good.
Okay.
What's up, man? What's going on, man?
I had somebody come up to the car.
It's all good.
I think.
Maybe do they know the answer?
I hope not. I hope it's me that knows the answer. I want to say it's Bo Jackson's one of them.
Bo Jackson is one of them. That's correct. And the other one would be, the other running back we think of with the Raiders.
Probably Marcus Allen.
Marcus Allen, Bo Jackson, and now Ashton Genty. There you go. Well done. If it wasn't those names, then I wouldn't really care about asking a specific Raiders question. But it's Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson, both playing here in Kansas City.
Who would know?
Yeah, and now Ashton Genty's going to be playing in Kansas City, just as Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson did, just not for a Chiefs team. But that is a winner for Charles. We will put you on hold and get your information. Congratulations, sir.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner at Johnny's.
Yes, sir. That's what you can get there at Johnny's. 10 area locations, including Lawrence and Topeka. And I think you're going to get another 30% off on that large specialty pizza dine-in only on Monday at the Johnny's Tavern locations, because I think the Chiefs are going to be up in the 30s this weekend again, which would give them 3 of 4 games scoring in the 30s, 4 straight, at least 28 points. They've done that 3 times. I think they're going to be there in the 30s. I think everybody is going to eat this weekend, and I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be a beneficiary of those receivers eating because, again, 300-yard game, 3 touchdowns. It is getting ready to be let loose on the Raiders this weekend. Josie, next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Josie, sports or leisure, what side would you like to start with?
Let's do sports first. Why not?
Okay, Chiefs or general NFL?
Let's do Chiefs to shake it up.
All right, very good, love it. Let's go with this one. Travis Kelce is just 3 touchdowns away from being the Chiefs' all-time leader in touchdowns scored. Who has the record for most touchdowns as a Kansas City Chief? He's 3 away from tying this person.
Thank you. Alrighty.
3 away from this player. This player had 83 touchdowns in his time with the
Could
Chiefs.
you repeat the question? You cut out there for a second.
Oh, yep, sorry about that. Travis Kelce needs 3 more touchdowns to tie the all-time record of touchdowns as a Kansas City Chief. Which player has the most touchdowns in Chiefs history?
Let me see. Would that be Priest Holmes by any chance?
It is Priest Holmes. That is correct. Priest Holmes with 83. Travis Kelce with 80. Also kind of puts into perspective how dominant Priest was in that amount of time that he played with the Chiefs. That Kelsey's done it over this entire run, and Priest was like, I got 4 years for you. I'm going to score like 80 freaking
It helps
touchdowns.
when you get, 28 in 1 year?
Yeah, it was amazing. Let's go over to leisure with Sterling. What category are you thinking?
Sports nicknames, riddles, or classic rock one-hit wonders?
Let's do classic rock one-hit wonders.
All righty, we will go with Melt With You. I'll stop the world and melt with you.
Yeah, I'll stop the world and melt with you. Yeah, I know that one really good. It's by the Modern English, I
Yes,
believe.
it is. That is by Modern English.
Well
You
done.
nailed it.
Josie stepping
That is a
in
really
and
good
kicking
one.
ass. Yes, right out of the gate. Josie, well done. That's easy, right? Winner, winner. And Johnny's
Yes.
$25 heading your way. Thank you for playing. Well
I
done. We'll
love
put you on hold and
Johnny's.
get your information.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. I love Johnny's. I love hearing that from Josie. $25 to Johnny's Tavern will give away if you get a sports question and a leisure question correct. 913-381-0810. Let's hear from Randy next up on Sports Radio 810. Randy, sports or leisure, what side would you like to start with?
Hey, let's start with leisure.
All right, classic rock one-hit wonders, riddles, or sports nicknames.
How about classic rock one-hit wonders?
Inagata Davida. About
Ooh.
15-minute long song.
Yeah.
Inagata Davida, honey.
Because it was supposed to be in the Garden of Eden, right?
Correct.
Is what that was.
No kidding.
Yeah, but
Well, I think
darn it, I can't think of the name of the group. Let's see.
had one of
Yeah.
the longest and maybe worst drum solos of all time. I don't know why they needed to. It was just the most basic, like, I don't know. It was a very weird part of the song, but very famous song, very long song.
Yeah.
Don't get it
Oh, I
confused
know.
with Carlos in Delgado de Vida.
That's pretty good.
Chris Berman. That was Chris Berman with Carlos Delgado. Carlos in Delgado de Vida.
Delgado de Vida. Boy, yeah, that one's drawn a blank. Sorry.
Oh man, the only hint I think I can give is it's a 2-letter name of the band, and the first letter is a type of metal.
It's a 2-word, not 2-letter.
2-word.
It's 2 words.
2-word.
Butterfly?
And the first
Nice
Iron
job, dude.
Butterfly.
Well
there we
done.
go.
Your clues
You
are,
got
are
it.
great.
Well done.
Thank
See?
you. Yeah.
Thank you.
See, it's a one-hit wonder, and he's a one-hit wonder, is Sterling.
Yeah.
He gives it away right there. Randy will put you on hold and get your information. Congratulations as well. Nice job.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. 913-381-810. Those are quick winners right out of the gates. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll continue playing sports or leisure. We are hanging out at Heartland Men's Health today, Overland Park location. 3 area locations conveniently located all over the spot. Overland Park, Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit and North Kansas City. You can give them a call, 844-447-6600. Schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. You can check them out, heartlandmenshealth.com, whether that is looking for treatment with ED or if it is looking to see what your testosterone level was, as Sterling did that today, or asking and inquiring about the exciting new peptides that they are offering as well. We'll take a timeout, come back, 913-381-810. More sports or leisure next. Heartland Men's Health hanging out today. Heartland Men's Health Overland Park location for us on this Thursday edition of the show. 913-381-0810 is the phone number to join us to play a little sports or leisure. 913-381-0810, resetting the categories. Just a couple of quick categories for us with Chiefs questions and NFL questions on the sports side. What about on the leisure side? And we'll get back to the phones.
Classic rock one-hit wonders, riddles, and sports nicknames.
All right, there we go. Let's head back to the phone lines, 913-381-0810. Matt next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Matt, sports or leisure, what side would you like to start with?
Let's try leisure sports nicknames, please.
All right, we will go with basketball Agent Zero.
Gilbert Arenas.
That is Gilbert Arenas, who has become one of the worst NBA podcasters out there.
Okay, that's good. All right, on the sports side, we got Chiefs questions and we have general NFL questions. What are you going to go with?
We'll go Chiefs, please.
All right, Chiefs questions for you. The Chiefs play the Raiders on Sunday. The record for the Chiefs in passing yards against specifically the Raiders in their games as a Chiefs quarterback is already Patrick Mahomes with 4,141 passing yards. Which quarterback has the most in Chiefs history passing yards against the Raiders after Patrick Mahomes? Mahomes with 4,141 already. And this quarterback is who he passed pretty much 1,000 yards ago. Because the next closest is 3,124 for a quarterback for the Chiefs in games specifically played against the Raiders.
I think if it's more recent or far back.
I would say probably think of somebody that would have had a lot of games against the Raiders, since quarterbacks in Kansas City typically haven't been putting up Mahomes numbers. It's more maybe more of a volume stat than anything else.
Is it Len Dawson?
It is Lenny the Cool. Len Dawson, how about this? Len Dawson with 3,124 passing yards against the Raiders. Third most, Trent Green with 3,072. Trent was only 50 yards away from passing yards against the Raiders to pass Lenny the Cool, but it is Len Dawson. Then Trent Green, then Alex Smith, Bill Kinney, and then Elvis Gerback round out the five after Patrick Mahomes. Over to leisure. Well, no, actually, that's a winner. Yeah, that's a winner right out of the gates. There we go. We will put you on hold, Matt, to get your information. Congratulations, sir. Or it was Matt, right? That was Matt? It was Matt. That was Matt. That was definitely Matt. 913-381-0810 is the phone. I just want to make sure. You know, I got all these names in my head and names written down.
That was
I've
Matt.
got circles over here. I got, thank you. It was Matt. Nailed it. I
can help you out this Matt situation. Matt with one T.
Is it Pan with a D? Is it Pan or Pand? Pam? Pand? I can help you out with that. All right, let's head to the phone lines. We bring in Jerry next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jerry, sports or leisure, what side would you like to start with?
I'll try the leisure, and I think I'll try the sports nicknames.
Sports nicknames. We'll go with maybe one of the easier ones.
Okay,
here.
do it. You should do it.
The logo.
Oh, not from where he shoots from. Caitlin Clark.
Jerry West, isn't it?
Nice job.
It is Jerry West.
done.
Used to have a Jerry West jersey. That was my favorite jersey. As
Were
a
you
kid.
named after Jerry West?
Yeah, I think so.
Nailed. That's awesome, man. What are the odds? What are the odds of you getting a Jerry West question and you're named after Jerry West?
It was pretty good. I saw his name and I figured we'll do that.
Is that why you did it? Really?
Part of the reason, yes.
Okay, that's fun then. All right, on to the sports side. We've got Chiefs questions and we have general NFL questions.
How about Chiefs?
All right. This is the last one specifically for the Kansas City Chiefs. We have other questions that are Chiefs questions, but other answers, Chiefs related, but the answers are other NFL players. But Chiefs specific, we just said passing yards. Which player has the most receiving yards in their career against the Raiders? Most receiving yards in Chiefs history in games specifically against the Raiders. This player has 1,582 receiving yards specifically against the Raiders.
Is it an old player like Len or newer?
It's a wide receiver, so it would be a well, you know what? I shouldn't say wide receiver. It's somebody who catches the football. Maybe that just gave it away. But it's not as old as not back in the day. No, not back in the day.
I feel like you just gave it away.
To a degree, yeah, I think so. Kind of gave two options, I guess, if you want to really think about it.
Yep.
Probably then Tyreek.
Which, by the way, they're 50 yards apiece. Was that your final answer, or were you just thinking out loud?
No,
He was thinking out loud.
not
okay.
So it's open to tight ends too, huh?
Yes, it is.
Okay, then either Kelsey or Tony Gonzalez. I don't know. Probably. I would think Kelsey.
Kelsey is correct. It is Travis Kelsey. He's got 1,582. Tony Gonzalez has 1,473. So 50-yard difference. Kelsey still has more games,
thanks for the
at
help.
least two more,
Yeah.
to extend that. But yes, it was Travis Kelsey. That is a winner again, right? Yeah, because you're named after Jerry West. That's correct. Jerry will put you on hold. Jerry Kelsey is his name. What are the odds? We'll put you on hold and get your information. Congratulations, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right, man. 913-381-0810. Let's go back to the phone lines. 913-381-0810, and we bring in Tim next in a little sports or leisure. Tim, sports or leisure, what side would you like to start with?
Let's go with leisure, the classic rock question.
Classic rock one-hit wonders. We will go with Raise a Little Hell. Raise a little hell, raise a little
Yeah,
hell,
I know
raise
the
a
song
little hell.
very well. I've probably heard it and done it thousands of times. Both. Oh gosh, I'm gonna shoot myself if I don't get this one. This is too easy. Oh, I know that. It was the same era as like Head East, Nazareth, all those guys, and it's not the
yeah.
And you always give me the Brownsville Station one, the Smoking in the Boys' Room, but that wasn't a one-hit one. Oh God.
This one definitely is a one-hit wonder. This one for sure. I do not know any other song by this band who was Canadian. The name of the band is a very famous song by a British band, which could be a lot of things. But
I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yellow Submarine.
One of my favorite bands.
Fat Bottom Girl.
Yeah. It's not helping those clues.
Sorry, yeah.
Raise a little hell, raise a little hell, raise a little hell.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is one where I'm going to shoot myself. Like I said, it's crazy.
Throw a dart. Throw a dart. Throw a dart. The shot clock played. The play clock. We're not going to pump up the play clock again like the Lions did. Or, excuse me, like Dan Campbell said the Lions didn't get. Or, excuse me, they did get, but he said they didn't get. You'll have to just watch the game, I guess, or believe in conspiracy theories. Anyway. Tim, throw a dart. We got.
All right. Not Judas Priest, but multiple times. I know.
Oh, no, I love Judas Priest. That's not one hit. Come on.
You got to throw a dart.
Mara. I should know this. Not free, no, because that's all right now.
Nope. Tim. And gone. Tim. I don't know. He was talking with somebody. There we go. 913-381-0810. Let's head back to the phone lines. Then we talk with John. John next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. John, sports or leisure?
Can I take the leisure question that was just up?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You sure enough can, John.
I can't. I'm good at cleaning up other people's music questions. This is going to be the third time.
It's very
for me.
good.
So it's Trooper.
It is Trooper, the Canadian band Trooper. Raise a Little Hell, and I'm fully transparent. That is the only song I've ever heard by the band Trooper.
So well done, John. I mean, absolutely well done that you knew that song by Trooper. So good job. Over to the sports side, we have general NFL, and we have questions that are Kelsey-related, but it is not a Chiefs answer, if that makes sense. So there you go. The specific Chiefs answers, Chiefs players as answers is done.
I'm dying to try that. I got to try Kelsey.
Let's do that one.
Not Chiefs related.
I'll give you one that that I think is the easiest of the three, but that is certainly a relative term, so it may not be easy for other people. But Travis Kelce, in an obscure stat, moved into second place all time for receiving yards in primetime games. He has 4,188. He's second place. Which player has the most yards in primetime games at 5,351? Kelsey's still 1,200 away. Or 800 away, I guess. No, 1,200 away. I'll do my quick math. You are correct, Sterling.
Don't
So
overthink it.
Yeah.
So somebody like Jerry Rice, I'm thinking if it's an active player, that's the only hint I'll ask for, active or retired.
He is not active. He is definitely retired.
You don't need a hint. I think you're.
I don't think you need a hint, brother.
Yep.
Okay.
Don't overthink
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice is correct. Well done. It is Jerry Rice.
What if we were like, nope, wrong answer?
Wrong answer, you jackass. Why would you say Jerry Rice? No, it's
Wes Welker.
Yeah, it's Mike Evans. We not only were you wrong, it was an active player. No, Jerry Rice is correct. Kelsey would need 1,200 more receiving yards in prime time. I think he'd need to play after this year if he's ever going to catch Jerry Rice. In a fun, obscure stat that Travis Kelsey is, and boy, I bet how many of those yards came in like the last 4 or 5 years, because they played some primetime games, but not since they become the Chiefs. A lot of primetime games. That is a winner. So well done there, John. We'll put you on hold and get your information. Congratulations, sir.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. 913-381-0810. We head to the phone lines and we bring in Cajun next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Cajun, what side would you like to start with, sir?
Let's do one-hit wonders, please.
All right. This band I don't think is a one-hit wonder, but a lot of people will think it's a one-hit wonder. I love this band.
The Beatles.
She's a beauty. She's one in a million.
One in
girl.
a million.
One in a million, girl.
Oh. That's in Jason's era, man. It's a little too recent for me, even as old as it is.
Came out in 1975.
And I'll tell you,
the song was 83. But
huh?
The band who sang this, I am not messing with you, they formed in 1972.
Wow.
See, I'll know the song,
reason
but I have
I'm
no
thinking
clue on the
Scorpions,
band.
But it can't be a Scorpions.
It is not Scorpions.
Okay, that's cool. Thanks, fellas.
No. Cajun, you're the man. Appreciate you, brother.
Right.
Yes, you're the man. 913-381-0810. That's why I love Cajun. Oh, didn't get it. Thanks, guys. Bye. Great stuff. 913-381-0810. Let's bring in Avery next up. Avery is up next. 913-381-0810. Avery, sports or leisure? What side do you want to start with?
Well, that tubes question.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the
gosh.
Tubes.
The Tubes
also
question.
love Little White Punks on Dope. That was the original one that got big in 1975. I loved the tubes.
It's
I had a tube shirt. It was awesome.
That's what Marucci got called back in the day. He little white punk on dope.
Oh, I thought you were calling him the tube, and I'm like,
No,
that could
no,
be a
it's
lot.
just a little white punk
Here at
on dope.
Heartland's Men Health, we're calling.
Could be. I don't know. I'm not sure. Well done, Avery. Sports side, we've got general NFL and Kelsey-related general NFL.
I'll do just
Whatever
general
that would
NFL.
Okay, very good. Let's go. Let's go with this one, man. Jamar Chase has 6 games of at least 10 receptions and 150 yards and a touchdown as he goes to the field tonight. That's already tied for the 4th most games in NFL history with 10 receptions, 150 yards, and a touchdown. He's got the 4th most games. Name any of the players to have more games than Chase's 6 of 10, 150, and 1. Any of the 3 players that have more.
The free space, Jerry Rice.
There is no free space on this one, oddly enough.
Oh, okay. Oof, man, I would have thought the tubes was like 85. I'm surprised it's 75.
That song came out in '83, but they originally formed in 1972.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And they did nothing until '83. Yeah.
No, White Punks on Dope was 75.
I mean, I guess I'll do the other one. I'll say Randy Moss.
Not a bad guess. It's also not Randy Moss. It is not Randy Moss. But a surprise. Avery. There you go. 913-381-0810. It's not him either, Sterling. How about that? This one is it's
stumped me.
It's why I gave it to Avery.
Oh, I think I know who it might be.
That's why I gave it to Avery. Because maybe it's not just as obvious.
I think I know who it is
now. We do need to take a timeout. We'll do it right now. We'll come back. We'll get back to the phone lines. Those on hold, we'll get to you. That question is out there and available for someone to call in and request. That Jamar Chase question. He is in action tonight as well. We'll take a timeout. We're hanging out at Heartland Men's Health, the Overland Park location. It is Heartland Men's Health, heartlandmenshealth.com, where you can go and check out and find out what your T level is. You can come in like Sterling did today and get the blood work, and 15 minutes later know exactly what your testosterone level is, along with the PSA test.
Painless for a guy who passes out normally during blood draws. This was painless, easy, and again, pretty fun.
Yeah, painless for a guy who has a low tolerance of pain. So it's painless for him. It's Heartland Men's Health, 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 844-447-6600. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. More zone, more sports or leisure next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes and Michael Darcy as we head up until 2 o'clock. We're hanging out at Heartland Men's Health. Our location today is the Overland Park location. They also have a location in North Kansas City and also in Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit. It is Sports or Leisure today, 913-381-0810. To play some sports or leisure. One more segment to go as we lead up to Soren Petro in the program. Coming up tonight, it is Steelers and Bengals, as we said, the Jamar Chase in action, but Steelers-Bengals right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. 5.5-point spread on that one. Head back to the phone lines, a couple of more contestants to play some sports or leisure, and we start off with Ty playing sports or leisure. Ty, what side would you like to start with, sir, the sports side or the leisure side?
I'll do a music song, I guess, whatever that
All right,
is.
classic rock, one-hit wonders. We will go with Mother. Mother, tell your children not to walk my way.
Like Glenn Danzig.
Yes, it is.
Nice job.
Danzig.
Yeah.
Nice job. Way to
The
go,
other guy
Ty.
was Fee Waybill with the tubes. Fee Waybill.
Look at that. He knows his stuff.
There we go.
Ty was ready
Can't
to go,
stump
man.
That was the
ready to
Joe
go.
Satriani song, "Surfing with the Alien," that I missed last time.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I like Ty. Me and Ty, we're tight.
Tight. We get it. On to the sports side, we've got general NFL, and we have a couple of questions that are Travis Kelce related, but the questions are not Chiefs players, if that makes sense. And we have that Jamar Chase question out there already, but other ones as well.
I'll do a Kelsey one.
All right, so we had the one about Jerry Rice. Let's go with this one. Travis Kelce, also in that game against the Lions, moved into third place all time for first down receptions. So receptions that resulted in a first down. He's actually at 666 right now, so he needs a reception so he can be at 6'7". Which tight end has the record for most catches for a first down in NFL history?
Wow.
So Travis Kelce has 666. He's third
one
place.
a current announcer?
Go ahead.
Is one doing some?
Depending on the network.
Yeah. Gronk.
He's not an in-game announcer, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Gronk.
No, he's not an in-game. This guy would have played for a long time. Long time to have all of those first down. To give you an example, Kelsey's at 666. This player had 866 receptions for first downs, 200 more than Travis Kelce's career. Who are you going with?
I guess I'll go with Antonio Gates.
It is not Antonio Gates. Ty, thank you for playing, man. I appreciate it, brother. Killing the music category is Ty. Last one for us, it is Greg wrapping things up on Sports or Leisure. Let's see if we can get a walk-off. Greg, Sports or Leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Let's do leisure, please.
All right, classic rock, one-hit wonders, riddles, or sports nicknames?
Let's go nicknames. I feel like I'm okay at it.
Sports nicknames, we'll go with Chocolate Thunder.
Wow. Sounds like the bar I was
You know
at.
Chocolate Thunder. Jason knows Chocolate Thunder.
Don't we all?
You know, it feels like roller derby name. Chocolate Thunder.
NBA.
It does feel like that. You're right about it.
That helps. NBA. Daryl Dawkins, the Chocolate Thunder.
That is correct. Daryl Dawkins,
Yes.
Chocolate Thunder.
Nice job. Do you want the Jamar Chase question or the Tony Gonzalez? All right, you got it right. It's Tony G. Well done. We'll put you on hold and get your information. I was going to say Travis Kelce question. It's well done. We'll put you on hold, Greg. Nice job. We're out of time anyway. So Tony Gonzalez, 866 receptions for a first down. Kelce, 200 behind him. Wow. That's how amazing Tony G was, man. The Jamar Chase answer of the most games with 10 receptions, 150 yards, and a touchdown. He has 6.
Steve Largent.
Already. Tyreek Hill, 7. Julio Jones, 7. Andre Johnson, 8. How about that? How about that, huh? Jamar Chase has 6 of them already, and he's in action tonight. Heartland Men's Health, fantastic spot for you. Sterling got his testosterone level checked. It was simple. It was easy. Got the PSA test as well.
Simple, easy,
Heartland
fun.
Men's Health.
784. Let's go, boys!